You're watching the Papa John's Kickoff. For a better game day, order ahead.
Home stretch, one of the most competitive SEC seasons, Kirk, we've ever seen. Here are the standings. Georgia got to 5-1. Alabama and A&M did not play today.
Two big wins today that really stood out was what Texas and what Georgia were able to do. Both got challenged, both found ways to win.
You see the Vols and Sooners in that right column cannot afford a third conference loss. Neither team has a great chance to get to Atlanta, but that at-large playoff is very much in play. We're the winner here. And now the Tennessee Pride of the Southland Marching Band, our national anthem with vocalist Andrew Skene.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were glad, the bombs bursting in air, yet broke through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great energy here. The only night game for the Volunteers all season. It is dark mode. The players have been wearing those all-black jerseys. The fans joining in here. And welcome back.
There's a glow in Knoxville. It starts in the hills and runs straight down to the river. Tennessee steps into the night to spark the sea of orange.
The atmosphere in Knoxville is one of the best in all of sports.
Oklahoma is battle-tested and ready to roll in Rocky Top.
This is now or never.
Fight for each other. Fight for this moment.
Two programs with playoff dreams still burning bright.
They are not like us.
Every one of these games is precious.
I transform. Just go be us.
But tonight, the Volunteers go dark and Neyland ignites. On Saturday Night Football.
Just cool to see these uniforms together on the field. Hasn't happened very often. Just the sixth meeting. A couple of early Orange Bowls. The only previous game in Knoxville took some Baker Mayfield magic. Late rally that went in double overtime, and then Josh Heupel's homecoming game in Norman a year ago as we went back to the place where he won a national championship as a Sooner quarterback. Hard fought 25-15 Tennessee victory. Tennessee in this spot as a home favorite. It's actually won 26 in a row. That's the second longest streak. They are expected to win this game. But weird things happen in the stretch run.
No doubt about that.
They'll gather and make their entrance through the split T.
I love this entrance. This is hype.
Players love these uniforms. Wear them once a year in the last 5 years. One of the biggest and loudest palaces in college football. They'll form the T, and then this is a dark mode wrinkle. Venables, for all the Sooners, first time experiencing this particular atmosphere. They're used to big game vibes. They're walking into a place that is highly energized tonight. Venables told us, Kurt, this is a, quote, punch-back moment. Punching back after the loss to Ole Miss, and he loves the fact that his team's got to come into all of this tonight.
Well, great teams welcome this challenge. You find out what you're made out of tonight if you're Oklahoma. You've been tested, but this is the biggest test you've had all year.
Venables' defense last year did a great job against the then potent Heupel running game. Better than anybody else stopped them, but it was turnovers that undid them. Nico Iamaleava came up with some big throws. Tennessee was in command. Michael Hawkins came in and tried to spark things. Jackson Arnold got lifted. In the end, it was a 10-point win for Heupel and a sweet moment in the locker room. OU defense, Kurt, allowing 240, tops in the SEC. Tennessee, against lesser competition, has been electric. Can they get it done tonight against the toughest defense they have faced? Down to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, both quarterbacks have to be at their best tonight. For Oklahoma, John Mateer got off to the hottest start of just about any quarterback in the country in the first 4 weeks. But after breaking his hand, having surgery, he hasn't quite been the same. We talked to him on Wednesday, and he promised me that his throwing hand was not impacting his throws. But we did see him high-five a fan coming in, and he winces a little bit. Maybe the fan's just a little squeeze there. But he did say that he's not impacted by that. We talked to him about his mechanics, and his mechanics were drifting, not accurate in the pocket, and that's what he's really trying to correct today. And for Tennessee, Joey Aguilar has been terrific. He's the SEC in most of the offensive categories. He told me that he's very aware this is the SEC's top defense. He said that he's got to be really smart in the pocket, too, because he's got to move where the pressure is not coming from, be able to read and react to this Brent Venables defensive front that brings pressure from crazy places. He said his manipulation of the pocket will be the key for him tonight.
We'll see Aguilar in the Vols offense first. Oklahoma won and deferred. Tate Sandell to boot it away. Peyton Lewis, part of the Vols running back rotation, back deep. How will these players on both sides respond to this must-win game? We're about to find out. And the lefty Sandell boots it short enough to be returned. And he'll call a fair catch. And here comes Joey Aguilar, well-traveled, just a tough, resilient guy. Diablo Valley Junior College was near his home in the Bay Area. Appalachian State had to go and fight for the job. Very productive couple of years there. Transfers to UCLA, but then Iamaleava transfers from Tennessee to UCLA. It's kind of a de facto quarterback trade, and I think the Vols fans are very happy to have this guy here.
Well, the odds of landing a quarterback can be this effective in April in the portal. Very, very challenging. Obviously, he was available with Nico going out to UCLA. He decided to leave, and he has been sensational, adding to this run game the vertical pass.
Tennessee, a very fast starting offense, fastest in the country. On the first play, ball comes out. Just came out of Aguilar's hand as his hand went forward. No signal of incomplete. That's going to be a fumble they recover, near disaster.
The ball came out of his hand. His arm was coming forward. We're going to get Bill involved here on the first play of the game. Bill, what do you think of this? It goes backwards. Maybe it doesn't even matter. The ball looks like it goes backwards. That's a fumble.
Yeah, if it goes backwards, it's a fumble.
Yep. Get so focused on thinking about his hand and his arm coming forward. That's a lateral.
Just when you say Tennessee's a very fast starting offense, you know, touchdown their first possession in almost all their games.
Yeah, you and I were down there with Brent Venables, and he told us, man, the first quarter, this team is as good. In fact, they scored more points in the first quarter on average per game than anybody in the country. And his message to his team is we've got to start fast on defense. And after that miscue by Aguilar, got him behind the sticks, a chance to get this Vols offense off the field.
See if they bring pressure on this 3rd and 15. They do. Aguilar hit as he throws, and it's way over the head of Miles Kitzelman. Pressure did come from Robert Spears-Jennings. There is a flag down. It's in the secondary.
Yeah, I think they have defensive holding here on the Sooners.
Defense number 4. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul because of all that first down.
That's the freshman Cortland Guillory. That is an absolute bailout for this Tennessee offense.
It really is. I mean, they had the pressure. There's some contact there, but then he grabs a hold of the jersey at the top of the route. But that was a very physical route by the big tight end. He's 6'5", 255 pounds. Ran right into Guillory. He just kind of held on there initially, but I think grabbing the jersey at the top is what brought the call.
Giving away 70 pounds in that matchup. Aguilar downfield, and it's bobbled and incomplete. Guillory again was in coverage against Chris Brazzell, a big play weapon for this offense.
This kid Guillory is going to be a superstar. Watch him on the far right. He's matched up against Brazzell, 6'5" as a receiver. He just went against a tight end. Again, as a young corner, the fact he's able to give him that cushion, has confidence in his speed, most importantly had eyes on the football to be able to break on it.
And there's a ball. Brazzell's got it. And it's a first down out across the 45. They pick up 17.
Great job giving him time. He was able to navigate the safety who had cheated down Robert Spears-Jennings, kind of used his eyes to move him outside, and then made a great throw.
Quick timeout taken by Venables on defense here as the Volunteers are throwing punches early.
Yeah, and watch this read here. He's just going to this is the safety I'm talking about, who he's reading, Spears-Jennings. Watch how he kind of cheats down. He's going to move him to the outside, and there's the opening right there. He had to respect the tight end, and they stretch you so far horizontally that they create those seams into the teeth of the defense. And boy, it devolves. This game started so fast with that looked like the fumble, and they get him behind the sticks, and it looks like they get him off the field, and then the interference keeps the drive alive.
And after 4 plays in a minute and a half, Venables spending an early timeout to try to sort some things out on defense.
Yeah, and that's a matchup. Brent Venables, of course, he worked with Josh Heupel when Josh was at Oklahoma with Bob Stoops then as the head coach, very familiar with each other. And it'll be a great chess match between those two.
Yeah, because of that familiarity. Venables tries something unique, different that he hasn't shown before every time he plays Heupel, and Josh will bring a bag of tricks that he hasn't shown before too. Pitch to the end, and this is Mike Matthews. Matthews is free. Matthews deep into Oklahoma territory. So already you see Matthews and Brazzell, the 2 weapons out wide, getting involved.
Yeah, and a great block that time by Staley up front. Again, they stretch you. They're going to make you respect the perimeter of their offense. Quick throws like that, you better be ready to tackle in space.
You got 37 on that play, and now Deshaun Bishop tries the left side. Yeah, 121-38. That's how Tennessee is outscoring opponents in the first quarter.
Yeah, and when you play them in Knoxville, obviously that's how they keep this crowd in. It makes it that much more challenging with these fast starts.
OU's has been a fast-starting defense. They've only allowed all season 15 points in the first quarter. Flag down. Aguilar from the pocket. Crossing route. Wide open is Kitzelman, who walks into the end zone. But that flag right at the line of scrimmage.
I think Tennessee's receivers, I don't know if they were set on the left side. But looking over to the sideline, the ball was snapped. They didn't have their feet set. This should come back.
Formation offense. Number 14 did not have his shoulders parallel with line of scrimmage, therefore he's not a lineman. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Yeah, Braylon Staley, the slot receiver. They move him all over the place.
They do. Yeah, Staley and also Matthews. You'll see them both to the left. You see them here and here. Watch them turn. They're getting a call from the sideline. By the time they turn around, the ball is snapped and they're not set. So Oklahoma catches a break there.
You don't hear that description often. His shoulders were not parallel to the line of scrimmage. The snap. That's how fast things are happening here. Play 7 of this opening drive. 2nd and 15. Bishop has a crease, cuts back, and weaves his way for a 1st and goal. Deshaun Bishop rips off 16 yards.
It all starts with their running game. We get so enamored with the passing game, and Josh Heupel, they stretch you out. At the end of the day, they have to be able to establish the run game, and that time they got a great block by Staley to open that one up.
Bishop's got it again, and he runs right into heavy traffic. Got in a bear hug with Dominic Williams. Owen Heineke was there to help.
And a lot of moving and slanting up front for this defensive line, and that time Williams just jumped around a blocker and is able to be right there in the hole. So it's going to be a game of momentum and a game of speed for both of these offenses. Which defense can handle these body blows and the adversity that they face?
Tennessee with a 2 tight end set. They don't do it that often. They're 2nd and goal. Interesting looking backfield. Both tight ends in there along with Bishop, and they throw it across the middle. Caught for a touchdown by Braylon Staley. Ball strike quickly again. Wild drive begins with a fumble on the first play, then the defensive holding, which would have forced a punt had the Sooners not bailed them out.
That's right.
Max Gilbert. Nine plays, 75 yards, 343.
Chris, I think this formation that you mentioned and referred to really impacted what the defense is looking at, because if you look at his safety, I think he's really impacted by that. He's expecting a run. See how he cheats up? That's the read for Aguilar. If he comes down, get it over top of him for a touchdown. So the unique formation, Oklahoma expecting run, able to throw the football to get the first touchdown of the game.
Staley, slot guy with long arms, puts Tennessee on top. So only Alabama has stopped Tennessee from scoring on the Vols' first possession of the game. John Mateer and the Sooner offense will step out there for the first time down a touchdown. Josh Turbeville boots it to the end zone, and Satania will leave it here. So John Mateer pretty tough on himself. He owned the mistakes, the misfires late in that loss to Ole Miss. Question for me, Kirk, tonight: how much running will he do? It was such a big part of him early in the season.
You haven't seen it since week 4. The effectiveness of being able to scramble and create. Look at him. You can see that leadership. I think this is what we all fell in love with early in the year. You know, using comparisons of Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel because of the energy. Big thing for him. Just take what the defense gives you. Don't have to be Superman tonight. Just execute and be efficient.
I'd love to get their running game going. Xavier Robinson in a big game against Ole Miss, and he's got the first handoff of the game, picks up a couple of yards.
You know, their offensive line, like a lot of teams in the country, have had a lot of injuries, and even tonight they're playing some young guys, a couple true freshmen out there at tackle. And I think it's affected the continuity of this offensive line and what they can do in the run game. They've been very one-dimensional and relying a lot on Mateer to make plays. Tonight, he needs this run game to be sprinkled in to make Tennessee have to respect it.
Jaron Kanak, the slot left, the tight end is a weapon. Satania set out far to the right on this 2nd and 8. Jason Huffey will reset the game clock. And here we go. Empty backfield. 5 receivers. It's here out quickly. Deion Burks makes the catch. He's going to be stopped just short of the marker. They're going to move it. Actually, they're going to spot it up at the 35, and it is a first down.
Good job.
Just give him on the other side.
Ben Arbuckle, we came over from Washington State with John Mateer. Tim Banks, always love sitting down with him. Every week we get a chance to call Vols game. Very, very enlightening and forthcoming on what his defense has faced this year with some of the injuries that they've had to deal with. I think when the season started, Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson, maybe the best combo tandem of corners in the country, and both out all year.
Robinson off the left side. Yeah, McCoy hasn't been able to recover from that injury at the end of last year. And then Ricky Gibson injured against Syracuse in the opener. Guys have had to really step up, including Ty Redmond, a true freshman.
Yeah, Ty Redmond and Colton Hood, who came over from Colorado as a portal guy, and they thought he'd be a nickel and maybe a third corner. And he's had to be the alpha. He's really had to step up and play through some pain and injuries, and has done a heck of a job coming over from CU.
They fake it to Robinson on the slant, and it's a misfire. That was Giovanni Gibson. He was well covered by Redmond, the freshman. 3rd and 6.
It's much as we're talking about the corners and the injuries, Tennessee still will play man-to-man. They still will put these corners on islands and challenge it. That's a true freshman. You see a freshman on the other side playing for Oklahoma, and Guillory wearing that same jersey, number 4, and Redmond on the other side for the Vols.
Getting off the field on 3rd down has not been a strength for this Tennessee defense. They were elite in this area a year ago. It's been a struggle in 25.
Best pass rusher right there, Josephs, 19.
Matier tried to navigate the pocket as it was collapsing around him, and it's incomplete. Tried to find Kanik. Andre Turrentine in coverage. Sooners will punt.
Now, this is tough because the pocket collapses on him, but watch his feet here. Matier is an athletic guy, but watch his feet. Slow it down as he releases the ball. He jumps both feet off the ground. It's really hard to get anything on this football. Watch his feet. Both feet in the air to make that throw, and just didn't have enough on it to get the ball there.
Grayson Miller in a terrific season punting for Oklahoma to kick it away to Boo Carter, set up inside the Tennessee 10. Carter from the 10 tries to get to the sidelines, knocked out after a short return at the 16. 50-yard punt delivered by Miller. So second possession for Joey Aguilar was 75 yards to the house the first time. CU's bringing the heat, brought to you by Sonic. Sooners like to affect the quarterback. Good luck. Look how fast the ball is out here.
No doubt. I mean, it was quick pass again, stretch you out. But they run the football. I mean, this is what makes this offense. This is not just an offense that wants to play out on the perimeter and throw the football around. They get physical with Bishop as a runner. Here they affect the eyes, and it's that secondary of Oklahoma able to get a pass on the back end. And remember, this offense starts faster than anybody in college football, averaging 15 points per first quarter throughout the entire year. And that was Oklahoma's biggest nightmare, was trying to match that quick start, not get down by 10 or 14. They better step up here.
Yeah, it's not a defense that's used to being staggered early. Up the middle, Bishop, quick dart for about 5. Jaden Jackson got him down.
Remember, the first series, coming off that Ole Miss game, Oklahoma way too many big plays against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. First 3 plays in that first drive, over 15 yards.
Aguilar has time, right down the seam, and the catch is made by Staley, knocked loose. Looked like he had it in his hands, and then the shot was delivered by Peyton Bowen to knock it loose, and Staley still down on the field.
Well, what he saw was safety split, so he had an opening there to be able to take a chance, and then watch the reaction by the safeties. They're beat. He's able to put it right on a line exactly where it needs to be, but both those safeties came in there, Robert Spears-Jennings and Peyton Bowen. I think 22 Bowen ended up separating him from the hit from behind, not in front. I think this hit there, yep, got the ball out.
Very close to having the ball long enough for possession, but not quite long enough. Great job by Bowden. That's what his safety loves to make that play, and a clean hit.
Well, this offense, and again, Nico was a freshman last year. You got to cut him some slack. But what this offense missed a year ago was their ability to go downfield. That's Josh Heupel. That's a staple of this offense. And you almost got to go back to Hendon Hooker about 3 or 4 years ago when this offense had that ability to get downfield. was what this year they've been able to accomplish with Aguilar.
Not a very deep receiving core. I'm seeing Matthews and Brazel get involved. It's really those two plus Staley. And Braylon moves around a lot. He's the guy that had the touchdown catch, targeted 71 times, sitting up. Looks like he may be okay.
Yeah, what an athlete, and not only that, he's been a great blocker. We saw that in the opening drive. Just to go back to that point about Aguilar, Chris, you go back to Hendon Hooker, which to me is almost a bar. That's the bar, 9.5 yards per attempt if you go back to that year. And then look, the last couple years, not as good. And then look what Aguilar's doing this year. Very, very close to what they were able to do 4 years ago with Hendon Hooker when they were throwing it downfield all the time. And it's, again, such an important aspect to go along with the running game that they pride themselves on.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt running wild. That really forced defenses to play Tennessee differently. And then Heupel had, as you said, to react to that. They were intent on not getting beat by big plays. Third down, launching downfield again, and the catch is made by Ethan Davis. The tight end can get vertical. Just in case you forget about him, number 0.
Yeah. Heck of a job of picking up the blitz by Bishop, and then you get the ball. Again, we just really on cue. They're able to find those one-on-one matchups and hit another big one.
40-yard chunk, and then Bishop's going to be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Play made by Kip Lewis.
Watch Bishop 18 pick up the blitz. Just kind of eyes it, sees it, not surprised. And you've got to hold up on islands. It's such a tough thing to do. That's a big tight end at 250 pounds getting downfield fast.
Aguilar fires, far side incomplete. If we get a chance, there's a flag, a couple of them, by the way, as David Stone was rushing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 0 for contact to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty for previous spot, which yields an automatic touchdown.
Another major penalty against Oklahoma.
And not only is it a major penalty, it's after an incompletion. It was going to be 3rd and long. There's the hit to the helmet, the headgear. An obvious call there. Second time we've seen a miscue when it comes to rushing the quarterback, and the defense just kind of not playing with discipline there. It's got to drive Brent Venables crazy. That's 3rd and long after that incompletion.
Instead, a first down to the 25. Yeah, we're going to say, good conversation with Aguilar about how he's improved as a downfield thrower. At App State, he was not really known for that, but he was willing to come in a one-year stint here, Kirk, and really embrace tough coaching on his mechanics and improve, and he's come light years in that area.
Yeah, it is fascinating because you would think with the portal he would have a history of being really, really good in that area. And I think he's just been a great fit to the offense and what they've needed. Also, let's not move past the group of receivers. Tennessee in the past, they've had one, like a Julian Hyatt, 1 or 2 guys. They got 4, 5, 6 guys, which makes it different and much more challenging for a defense to match up with.
Matthews to the left, Brazel to the right as they always line up. Remember, the defense spread wide. The ball's knocked loose, and R. Mason Thomas has got it. Stiff arm moving his way and still going. A scoop. And if he stays in bounds, score for Oklahoma. Did he step out?
Oh, my goodness. Owen Henneke came on a blitz on a run-pass option, and nobody picked him up off the edge.
On the field is a fumble recovered by the defense, returned for a touchdown. There's a sideline warning. Oklahoma, it's their first of the game. There is no yardage. Touchdown.
You can see R. Mason Thomas being helped. He clearly had a problem with his leg, and he was just trying to keep his balance as he was tight-roping down the sideline. Let's see if the touchdown will stand here. Well, first of all, look at the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure off the edge. It's a run-pass option. Decides to throw it, and because of that, you're able to get right by the right tackle, blows it up. Clearly a fumble. And then R. Mason Thomas, who's known as a pass rusher himself, how about the job of being able to keep his feet? Oh, that's going to be a close one.
Another close one. Now he's working his way back in the field. Was there just a sliver of green between the foot? I think there's enough to have this stand as an incredibly impactful play in this game. Sooner defense was on the ropes. Tennessee trying to go up 2 scores, and suddenly could be a tie game here.
R. Mason Thomas there, I don't know if he got hurt trying to stay up and fighting off would-be tacklers, but he didn't look healthy as he was jogging those last 10 or 15 yards. He looked like he was struggling.
Heupel is pointing up to the screen, and folks are extremely biased here. They think he stepped out of bounds. Replay center took a look at it and is comfortable that he did stay in. And Sendel's PAT ties the game. A 71-yard scoop and score for R. Mason Thomas. Early fireworks here on Rocky Top. What do you expect in the dark mode game? Beautiful night in Knoxville. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven, legendary. So Owen Heineke with the 31st Oklahoma sack of the season. Knocked the ball loose. He's out there covering this kickoff. Scooped up by R. Mason Thomas, and we'll have an update on his health from Holly as he went into the medical tent. Suddenly it's 7-7.
And this 14-point swing, Chris, because on this RPO, the safety's right here. He cheats down. That's the read. And once you make that read, you got the slant behind it. If they don't come up with this sack, look at this. That's probably a touchdown right there. Instead, sack, fumble, and you're going the other way. And this is a huge story. R. Mason Thomas, who made a heck of an effort just to stay up. What was that, a 15-yard stiff arm? But at the end of that, he starts to run. Towards the end, you can see him laboring after he comes out of this would-be tackle. He goes down that sideline about 2 or 3 steps later. Boom, right there, it hits him. And we'll have to keep an eye to see if he's able to come back.
Star Thomas in a tailback for Tennessee. Picks up a few. Holly, what do you have?
Well, guys, R. Mason Thomas is in the injury tent right now. From what I've observed, he's being evaluated for a hamstring injury. You could see him feel it in the middle of that run. Right now, in for him is Taylor Wine, who's been terrific. 9th in the nation in tackles for loss.
Sure has, Holly. Number 44 has been very productive. Kind of a co-starter on that side. Aguilar drops it off the middle. This is Thomas out of the backfield, and he's got a first down out across the 35. Heineke made the tackle.
7.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter. I mean, obviously a long way to go, but what a turn of events for Oklahoma's defense. Not just to tie this game up, but to kind of settle the crowd down a bit.
Taken off with a stylish slide is Aguilar. Picks up a couple of yards. He is out of the tent here, shaking hands. But the hamstring is it's a large muscle, and it's tough to cope with the strain to that area. We'll see if he can tough it out. 5 sacks, a leader of a very hungry defensive group of veterans. Aguilar's short flip across the middle, paying a price as Heineke delivered the blow there. 10-yard gain for Thomas.
He delivered a big blow, and I think he took the bad end of that. He checked himself out right away, probably seeing stars. That was a big collision, a physical linebacker, as we've seen tonight already.
Starr delivered the blow, and the other guy's feeling stars, and that's another key guy in this Oklahoma defense on the sideline at the moment here. Boganowski, safety, made that stop. Things happen quickly. Don't blink, folks. The Tennessee Volunteers have the football. Aguilar across the middle, and the catch is made right near the marker. And Staley again, who's back in the game.
It's a zone pressure, simulated pressure, where you play zone on the back end, but you bring 6. They did a good job of picking it up and sitting down in the soft spot of the zone, and the crowd reacting to an Oklahoma defender against this tempo going down after the play.
Speaking of sitting down, yeah, that's Grayson Halton, the defensive tackle. He went down immediately before the ball was spotted, and that's what the officials are on the lookout for this season. A point of emphasis: once the officials spot the ball ready for play, if a defensive player does go to the turf, it can cost the team a timeout. That was not the case here, and health concerns right away for this Sooner defense. Another one. It's a guy as an interior lineman that can help out guys like Thomas with the pass rush.
They challenge your depth, especially the big men up front, the defensive linemen.
Tennessee, Kirk, barely half of the first quarter played, already 145 yards on their 20 offensive plays. Nice run pass mix.
Think about that. 20 plays. We have 5:52 to go. I mean, you're on a pace for over 100 plays right now for Tennessee if this keeps up at this pace.
Oklahoma's had no defensive answers except for that sack, which resulted in the scoop and score.
Oklahoma's had 5 plays.
So they're losing guys to injury concerns, and they've already been on the field a lot. Play fake. Aguilar now checks it down. Gitzelman on the crossing route. And the former Crimson Tide tight end is going to be shoved out. But another big chunk play. Got 19 more.
Against zone defense dropping out. Aguilar really almost playing with these linebackers, moving them and then throwing in another direction.
That time Thomas met behind the line. See that Heineke is back in the ball game and right away delivering shots.
He is super active tonight. So much pressure on the eye discipline of these backers and safeties. That time they got downhill in a hurry to be able to make that tackle for a loss. Remember, they're #1 in the country in tackles for a loss. They like to get you behind the sticks.
Aguilar pressured, and he's going to be sacked for a 3rd time tonight. So no R. Mason Thomas. You got Danny Okoye off the edge getting involved. The Tennessee offensive line that has only allowed 9 sacks all season coming into tonight.
Yeah, miscommunication up front, and Brent Venables doing a lot of different looks when he gets the chance to be able to do that. He's trying to challenge the communication, and that time really did a good job there of Pendleton, the center, came over but didn't have any help at all.
It's David Sanders Jr. He's that 5-star recruit, the freshman who's starting at right tackle tonight. Played in 4 games but has been battling injury. And they're checking him out. Looks like a lower body concern.
And watch from behind.
Okoye kind of knocked into an ankle.
Yep.
Bending in an awkward ankle. You can see right away the grimace from Sanders. Very talented 6'6", 305-pounder from Charlotte. Interesting adjustments they've made to their pass protection. It's something you see a lot of the Amazon games you do on Thursday night. You know, they call it pull protection, where they actually pulling the guards out like it's a run play, and it forces guys to really play in space against edge rushers. It's challenging for an O-line.
Well, it's challenging, and it helps affect the eyes of the linebackers because they see a pulling lineman, especially at the college level. They're just assuming it's some kind of a run play. So it's a nice wrinkle. Josh Heupel wasn't big on it initially, but his I think over time realized that it's a very effective way. But coming in tonight, it's been feast or famine for both Oklahoma's defense, either sacks or they give up big plays, and for Tennessee's offense. It's either protect and hit big plays or give up sacks. 6 plays tonight of 15 yards or more. Think of that. 6 plays of 15 yards or more, and also 3 sacks. So that trend continues for Tennessee.
And that sack sets up a 3rd and 20. They are in field goal range, but barely. Sooners not showing pressure, dropping 7 guys back into coverage. Aguilar quickly on the edge. It's Staley, and he's knocked down way short of the first down at the 25. So pass rush impacts that drive, and here comes a field goal team.
Just a quick throw, just trying to help their cause there to get a little bit closer to give the field goal a better chance.
Max Gilbert, sophomore from Memphis, very solid season, 10 of 12. This is from 45. Drives it Hammers it. Got it up in that second level of seats. Would have been good from 55. So Volunteers reclaim the lead.
Great snap, good hold. Strong leg there, Chris.
Well, we're seeing this battle. You know, you mentioned it. Oklahoma, #1 in tackles for loss. They've had a couple of those, already 3 sacks, but vulnerable on the back end. And that's what hurt them against Ole Miss.
Exactly. And I think that's going to be the story tonight. That stop, not just, they give up 3 points, but just getting a stop at some point, the field kind of levels, and you just go play football. Obviously, John Mateer has got to get into a zone himself, and this offense from Oklahoma has got to rediscover who they were early in the year, and I think we're all anxious to see that happen. But can they get it going on the road in this environment against this Vols defense?
In the 5 plays they have run so far, that's it. Mateer 1 of 3. Xavier Robinson a couple of short runs. But when you face Tennessee in this building, there is urgency even early just to generate, because you know your defense is going to have a tough time. Week 9 of Monday Night Football. Kyler Murray, his status has kind of been up in the air. The Cardinals look, he's going to try to go as they square off against CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys. 8 Eastern. Special guest Charles Barkley will be joining the contingent, and Peyton, of course, here tonight. The Manning cast is over in ESPN2 at 6 Eastern.
Living legend Peyton Manning.
I'm wondering if perhaps Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma fans or the folks weren't positive he's going to try to make it, but a bye week for the Buccaneers, I believe. Not seen him tonight yet.
Sam Bradford was here, but I don't know if Bake's here.
It's here back, fits it into tight space there, and that's Giovanni Gibson. Picks up about 7. Sooners trying to use some tempo now.
They're going to go fast. Spreading them out, empty set.
Here takes off. It was a quick peek and then a design run. Moves the sticks out to the 38. David Hobbs got him down.
Spread. Anytime he spreads the defense out, he's always a threat. And if nothing else, he's not looking to go 60. He's looking to do what exactly he did there. And let's pick up 7 to 10 yards, get the first down, and make the defense have to respect that part of this offense.
Burks came in motion. Mateer took a look, but now has his eyes downfield and now just tries to avoid the rush. And it's a short scramble for a couple of yards before Hobbs made the stop again.
And he wanted to take a shot downfield. Kept the back end, give him just enough time, but it was good coverage downfield, nothing open. And instead of checking it down, he didn't have a check down. He had to use his legs just to get some positive yards.
He's a guy that's capable of long distance runs. Had a 51-yard run earlier in the season. Has run for 5 touchdowns, but again, not much of that since he's returned from thumb surgery. Been protecting that. Play clock at 2. And a timeout was taken.
No, I think they got delay a game unless they got the timeout late.
They were signaling.
Snap. Delay a game.
No, did not get it signaled. Venables, he may have said my fault. He kind of shook his head. But waited a bit too long to try to call timeout.
It's like it, obviously on the road in college football, especially in an environment like this. You can see he started to make a check up at the line of scrimmage with about 5 seconds to go on a play clock. That's tough to do.
And now they're going to get a timeout. On the 2nd and 13, they'll spend their second timeout. Offense just trying to get up and running. And 5-yard penalty. We'll see if it proves costly. 2 penalties on the Oklahoma defense certainly have been costly so far.
And the officials actually came together and they gave Oklahoma the timeout that you referenced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they came together, talked about it. So it's before the 5-yard penalty. So they'll take that 5-yard penalty off the board and give the Sooners their timeout.
That'll switch it to 2nd and 8. on further review. It's life in the SEC. I mean, they didn't face tough environments in the Big 12. They did, of course, and they got everybody's best shot for decades in that conference. But week in, week out, you step into places like this, and it is a serious challenge to operate.
You and I did the Michigan game with Holly, our whole crew, and we talked even then about the schedule, the daunting schedule that Oklahoma had. And here we are in the first weekend in November. I feel like this is a fork-in-the-road type of game for Oklahoma. You win in Knoxville, it is a springboard to the rest of your season. And if you fall short tonight with what's still ahead of you, could the wheels potentially fall off? So this is a massive game and a massive opportunity for Brent Venables in Oklahoma.
Holly's DB meter way over 100 here. Sategna goes in motion. They hand it off inside to Xavier Robinson. Haven't yet seen Isaiah Sategna get involved, but he is an electric player, also their punt returner, and the one real big play weapon they have out wide.
Tennessee's done a pretty good job of cheating their coverage to him, making Mateer have to find other options. But eventually OU, they will find a way to get number 5 the football.
Now he's going to run all the way off the field. 5 other Sooners lined up out wide. It's Helms, the tight end, who motions back in, and it's a slant batted up in the air and falls to the ground. Dangerous as Edwin Spillman, the middle linebacker, batted the pass up in the air.
You have 4 receivers, a motion 1 away, and you got a safety walking out. He starts to cheat in, and then ends up blitzing. Tackle does a good job of picking him up, being aware. But that's the one thing with Mateer, not the tallest guy, even a quick throw. Worry about balls being batted down. Good awareness there by Spillman, knocked that one down.
Redshirt freshman from Nashville, so Miller to punt it away, and Boo Carter again set up inside the 10. Huge third down play off the edge, and now there's a miscommunication on the sidelines. The punt team trying to get somebody on and then off late, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Sooners. One of those procedural penalties, so a couple of those already.
The 11th player came on, was not set prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Oklahoma now 34 total yards and 29 penalty yards. You hear me on that one? 30,
I heard you.
29 penalty yards. Tough first quarter. They're lucky to be in this game right now.
And the 2 penalties in the defense. Now the snap is just dropped. Miller thankfully didn't panic, able to pick it up, and Tennessee wasn't really coming after him, and rolls dead at the 20-yard line. Even the basics appear to be challenging for the Sooners tonight.
Yeah, snap's right on the money. Just drops it, but like you said, he kept his cool. Didn't start to peek up, start to panic. Who's coming towards me? Just did a good job of securing the ball, just getting it out. So the Vols will start at their own 20.
Ended up being a 40-yard punt. Final minute of this first quarter. Good news for Tennessee. Talented freshman David Sanders back in at right tackle. Quick flip. And again, that's that tight end Ethan Davis. Had the big downfield play earlier. Stopped after a short gain by Heineke, who was all over the field.
Yeah, Kitzelman is the tight end that is out there when they're not in that 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. But boy, Davis is a good-looking young player.
Aguilar keeper dives forward. It's going to be near but short of the marker. Picked up 7. Final 30 seconds. It'll be 3rd and 1.
He's a big quarterback, 6'3", 225 pounds. But again, he can run the football, and there he showed it.
Hands it off this time. Yeah, Aguilar, powerfully built, lower body. that's the area they wanted to get more involved in his throwing motion. Use those strong legs and drive the ball. And one of the adjustments he's made, which has produced a lot of these nice downfield throws. End of a quarter. Tennessee dominant, but just up by 3. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Set for the second quarter on Rocky Top, the SEC on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. This elimination game de facto for the CFP as the Volunteers up by a field goal. Offense has been in charge here. 1st and 10 from the 34. Into a clogged middle. Not much for Peyton Lewis. Holly, injury updates from that Sooner sideline.
That's right. R. Mason Thomas does not look like he will return to this game right now. He tried to get in a stance and push off, but cannot on that right leg. He's encouraging the guys on the sideline, does not have his helmet. One other note, Kobe McKenzie, their linebacker, who Brent Venables calls the alpha of this team, is not playing. He was questionable on the report. He's in a clean uniform, doesn't have his helmet. I've not seen him play in this game so far. Those are the 2 best defenders.
No doubt. That's huge, especially McKenzie just getting him lined up and calming him down.
Brazel on the slant, short of the marker. He got hurt early in the game against Ole Miss, and there was a noticeable drop-off. Venables acknowledged that after McKenzie went out of that game.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you lose your guys.
Lewis, who fights for a first down.
Yeah, Brent Venables in his 4th year. Every time we do an Oklahoma game, he talks about 5 or 6 guys on the defensive side, and he talks about what they've been through. And a lot of them, a lot of that has to do with Kobe McKenzie and R. Mason Thomas, and been through the good and bad together. But he says there's an investment. These guys are really a part of their leadership team and guys we can count on. And 2 of those guys now are down for the night, and now you have others going to have to step up, like Owen Henneke and Kip Lewis in the middle.
Step up against an offense that has been crisp, clicking from the start here tonight. Aguilar 11 for 13 and a touchdown. Has been sacked 3 times. Taken off is Lewis. Barrels forward. Jaden Hardy made the play after a 7-yard gain.
Well, that was a tough run, right? I mean, that's if 3 backs. Bishop is known for being the most physical, but Lewis that time lowered his shoulder, had no problem just running right over top of the safety there.
He's a sprinter who's run a 10-500, but has a lot of power and isn't afraid to lower the shoulder. Matthews running free. Another big chunk play for this Volunteer pass game. First down inside the 25. Got 24 that time.
Just going back to our point about McKenzie not being out there. This defense in that 2nd and 3rd level looks lost right now. Eyes in the backfield, not really communicating. Open receivers everywhere.
It's happening really quickly. Of course, they like to play that chess game. Venables looks over, tries to figure out what the other offense is doing, and he's usually pretty elite at that. And then signal in, but they're not able to do that with the tempo.
Now the tempo makes it tough. Obviously, it's been a big thing last week. Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel knows how Brent Venables likes to call defenses, and they just made wholesale changes, brought 4 or 5 guys off the sideline into this defense, just trying to stay fresh, trying to hold up against the tempo of the balls. The 34th play coming up already.
It's incredible. Another run up the middle for Lewis. 34 plays, and we played not even 19 minutes.
And the wear and tear on that physically, and as the game goes on, we're going to keep a close eye on the line of scrimmage. I mean, the only way you can stop these guys is if you have defensive linemen that can win against a run game, get off blocks and be physical. And the more snaps you have to deal with and the more tempo you deal with, the more those 300-pounders get tired, and the easier it becomes for Heupel and the Vols to run the football.
Sooners trying to force a field goal attempt here. 3rd and 6. Pressure comes. Aguilar to the end zone. Brazel tried to make a one-handed catch, but he was well covered by Guillory, and it's 4th down.
The way they've been executing, I mean, Brazel's a great player. It's a good matchup against a freshman. He's out of bounds, even if he's able to make that catch. I thought Guillory did a pretty good job with kind of bodying them. but kind of a low percentage, 50-50 ball there with all the great execution on the underneath throws and the crossers. That time took a shot, and Oklahoma very fortunate to get off the field.
Feels like it's a win anytime this Oklahoma defense can keep the balls out of the end zone. Here's Gilbert from 37, and they come up empty. He missed it.
Wow.
Hooked it wide left. So an 11-play drive for Tennessee produces nothing, and it's still just a 3-point game. Now, can the Oklahoma offense get going? Reliable kicker hooked it, but Mateer and the Sooners, nothing doing so far in Rocky Top. And that change. Well, your favorite team's chances of making a playoff are constantly changing based on other results. ESPN.com/All-State Playoff Predictor is the place to check it out. And up on the inside there, Robinson stopped. Of course, Tuesday, the first CFP rankings come out, and they'll replace the AP poll. And there's the rankings that matter as we head down the stretch here in November. Oklahoma's offense has got to get going. This is a Tennessee defense that has really struggled to stop just about everybody this year. A huge step back from last year's elite defense. And Oklahoma has done very little with their first 11 plays, 36 total yards. It's Robinson who comes in motion. Mateer steps up, escapes a lot of space. Mateer weaves his way for their biggest play tonight by far out to the 45, a 22-yard scramble.
You get motion, which gives you an indicator of man to man. Now you got a linebacker blitz, and then look at all that grass. Good job of being able to pull out of that potential, bring that sack by West, and then big yards with that blitz.
Mateer steps up and almost intercepted through a little dart that bounced off the hands of Robinson, and then Jaden Perlott had a chance at the pick.
Yeah, maybe I'm just off. Maybe this is part of it. You know, quarterbacks today with quarterback gurus and coaches, that maybe they throw different ways. Watch my man again with jumping in the air, both feet off the ground, and throwing the football. It must just be maybe it's something he's comfortable in doing. The second time we've seen that from him. I don't recall, when we've called two of their games before, him elevating into the air with both feet and throwing the football.
Feet planted for this long throw to the sideline to Gibson, and a flag comes in. The tackle by Redmond, and a couple of flags along that Tennessee bench.
That's got to be on Perlotti, right? 27 coming in there late.
After the play, still foul. Late hit out of bounds, defense number 27. 15-yard penalty includes an automatic first down.
They say he's the future. Perlotti is a freshman, Buford, Georgia, tall, rangy guy.
6'4", 210, a great athlete, but this is unnecessary. It's a true freshman just being aggressive and too aggressive. Whistle, you'd see the official plays over. He just comes in, and now the Sooners finally catch a break, get into Volunteer territory.
Now the intensity of these games, and these players who've seen it throughout the day, really, as we hit this stretch run, some mental mistakes. See if it costs Tennessee. And off to Robinson. You mentioned they've done a good job against Isaiah Satania, but they haven't even looked his way yet, Kirk. If you take number 5 out of the mix, this Oklahoma offense in a lot of games would struggle.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing is they're trying to move him around. There was a good shot there, by the way, of Arian Carter. Perlotti's playing because really one of the alphas of this Tennessee defense, 7, he wants to play. He's dealing with an injury, so he's not able to go at least up to this point. So that's why the freshman's out there.
Yeah, it's a foot injury. Carter not quite ready. Flag down as Mateer rolls and throws it on the sideline to Deion Burks. The flag was out very early.
And same penalty that we saw with Tennessee. The receivers looking over to the sideline to try to make an adjustment, not getting set, and then the ball being snapped. I think this will be on OU.
I mean, we've seen it twice, and Bill LeMonnier told us earlier he'd never seen it.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be the whole shoulder, but it definitely we're not set.
Helio formation, offense number 4. It's not square with the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we got it again, Bill.
Bill, you go back to the Walter Camp era, and now you're telling me you've never seen this?
Hey, honest to God, 20 years in the Big Ten, other college experience, 2 times in one game, first time in my career.
What was your first year of officiating?
73.
1973, and Bill never seen it. We've got it twice tonight.
Let's get those shoulders square tonight. I've heard that critique on cameras, but get your shoulders square. More than a few times, Kirk. If you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Kanak makes the catch and is knocked down after an 8-yard gain.
Let's go back to what Brent Venables told us on the field before the game.
Look who's out there.
We just called him, and on cue, he's back out. That's great. Good to see that. But Brent Venables telling us we got to weather the storm of this crowd and how fast these guys are and how much they score. They're down 3. They've weathered it. They're in Tennessee territory. Huge third down in this environment to keep this drive alive.
0 for 2 so far. Needs 7. Vols being pressure. Mateer looking for somebody. Escapes, is knocked down. He's going to pick up a yard. Flag is out. Tyree Weathersby hammered the quarterback. Short sack, and it's 4th down.
A holding call.
It's interesting.
Holding. Offense number 70. That penalty is declined. So the play is 4th down.
So they're going to make it a long field goal attempt for Tate Sandell. If they'd taken the penalty, would have knocked him back out of field goal range, but given the Sooners another down. As it is, they're going to trot him out for about a 55-yarder.
Chris, I think Perlotti showing this real quick and then getting out affected the mechanics and the confidence of Mateer in the pocket. He expected blitz, and when they dropped, I think he was fooled and then lost on where to look for his next read.
Sandell missed his first attempt. And as a Sooner against Michigan, has made 14 in a row, and the lefty from 55 drives it right through. What an addition Tate Sandell has been. Sooners have a kicker, and we got a tie game.
And then he mean-mugged. You don't see that from a kicker. He's down there talking a little trash after 55 here in Knoxville.
I don't blame him. This is a beautifully struck kick. Oklahoma takes it 43 yards. We're helped out by the penalty in that drive. We're dead even midway second.
ABC's Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Sonic. Buy one Sonic Smasher and get a free large drink when you order in the Sonic app.
Early years of the BCS system. Bob Stoops, Josh Heupel, Brent Venables there. Won it in 2000. 2 years before that, Philip Fulmer with T. Martin at the helm. Won the national championship out in the Fiesta Bowl, knocking off Florida State.
Shocked the world, 1998.
Peyton Lewis on the return. Tries to get a crease. Bounces off a couple tackles, but is stopped short of the 20. Like a field goal attempt.
To bring Bill, what do you think of this? The C-55, the left guard, he's Eddie Pierre-Louis, movement there. Could that have been called?
If 55 moved, it'd be on a false start.
Yeah.
Because with the defender coming in, it's somebody who's directly across or left or right of him. That'd put it on the defense, but he's not in that area.
There's the mean mug. He means it. Should.
I just think it's interesting. They could have taken that holding penalty, moved him back 10 yards, and forced OU to try to get 10 yards to get back to that. Sandell's kicked 3 55-yarders, so they left him with a spot well within his range. And
drilled it.
10-10.
Incredible to think that we've gotten to 10-10 when you think about how this game started for Tennessee. Give Oklahoma credit, weathering that storm early.
4 productive drives, not in terms of points, but Tennessee's moved the football all 4, getting inside the Oklahoma 30, but just the 10 points and a fumble and a missed field goal.
They've been pretty effective so far on third down, playing on their terms. 3 of 5 so far.
Sooners rush 4, and Aguilar gets it out to Brazel, crossing right in front of Guillory, and they're going to spot him short of the first down. Ball spotted short of the 30. It's 4th and 1.
And the only thing I can think of is that his knee must have touched. I mean, it looked like by the time he came down that was the first down. And I know that's what Josh Heupel wants to take.
It's under review, guys.
Okay. The knee must have come down, and where's the football right there? That's a tough angle to really have a definitive thought. It was
it's
kind of across her man coverage, put it out in front of him, gave him a chance to run after the catch, and here's a good look at it right here.
Does the nose of the ball get across the 30 when?
Oh yeah,
that looked like it did there.
Yeah.
Take a look at from the pylon here. Aggressive.
Get that left calf out of there.
Get lean around the calf.
I'm working around.
Wasn't the best look. Jim Laborde is the replay official. Jason Autry in charge of the crew. Often tough to spot that in real time, but it did look to the naked eye like he had gotten across.
Yeah, I thought
the 30.
That second look showed it pretty clear. Watch the knee right there. I mean, you can't see the ball, but as it continues, you see right there. I mean, it's
got it in the left arm.
Yep. Maybe half of the football.
You said they've been efficient on third down. There's one more look here. Knee down now. And the nose of the ball again. It's not exactly down the line, but I think they're going to spot this up and it'll be a first down. That's a tough play to stop. Guillory was given chase, but Brazel always lines up on the right, comes sprinting across the field on the crosser, and the ball precisely thrown. Tough to defend.
Oh, really tough. And Guillory's having a pretty good night. You know, the young freshman, he's grown up a lot this year with all the reps that he's had a chance to play.
Brazel so far is a big play guy, has been contained. I mean, relative to the other chunk plays Tennessee's produced, his longest catch is 17 yards. That's about what he averages per catch.
The runner has reached the line to gain. The ball will be the 30-yard line. First down.
Brazel, Matthews, and Braylon Staley, as you said, pick your poison. All three of those guys very, very tough to cover.
Yeah, I really, it's been a fun group to watch this year and see them grow around Aguilar. Like we talked about earlier, it's not just one guy or two guys. He's throwing the tight ends with Kitzelman and Davis coming out, and the backs that they have. It's a heck of a group they put together this year.
No other team has three guys with 500+ receiving yards, and Tennessee's got three with 600+. So first down. Bishop's got it. Tries the middle and picks up just a couple.
And you know what's great about that, when you have, like last week, they had three receivers, all the three of them over 100 yards. And what's great about that for Josh Heupel is you don't have to force it to one guy. I mean, the ball goes based on the read. It could go anywhere.
Where's he going to go this time? Down the field. Matthews tried to fight back and make a diving catch. Couldn't quite get there. Jacoby Johnson in coverage, and Matthews slow to get up. Appears to be in pain. He's pointing to his midsection. Jesse Perry, by the way, right guard for Tennessee, also down. So the athletic trainers spread out here as they look at the receiver and the offensive lineman. Looks like he may have landed on the ball. No. We'll step aside with these multiple injuries are examined. Both Venables and Heupel support ESPN's youth sports initiative, Take Back Sports. Kind of a disturbing study to some of us. 38% of 6 to 12-year-olds, that's it, playing sports on a regular basis. Many of them quit by age 11. TakeBackSports.org is the place for tips and research that help your kids enjoy youth sports.
We've got to change that trend. So much to learn from being involved in team sports. So many life lessons.
Matthews walked off, but replaced by Rodarius Jackson for the moment. Meanwhile, they go to the right side, and Brazel makes a sliding catch out near the 45. Got a dozen.
Aguilar really doing a nice job of seeing the field. And when Oklahoma is playing zone, these receivers are finding the soft spot, and he's had just enough time to be able to move some of these safeties. Again, kind of manipulating the coverage and making good throws.
Bishop tries to bounce it. He's going to be swallowed up by Owen Heineke tonight, who has stepped up. You know, McKenzie's out of the game. We've seen R. Mason Thomas. Heineke was out briefly, but he's been all over the place. Sooners.
Watch this job here, and it allows Heinicke to be able to finish, but R. Mason Thomas is down, so you need Taylor Wine to be able to step up and win like that to be able to defend this run game, let Heinicke clean it up. Great play, showing some physicality there on the edge.
2nd and 10, Aguilar, quick drop, sideline pitch. Staley's got it. He's going to be spun down quickly, and a flag comes in. Sammy Omosigho is going to be penalized on the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Influence an automatic first down.
This is another major penalty in this OU defense. This was an obvious one. Gets his hand on the shield.
Yeah. Even though he didn't technically get his fingers caught up in the cage, that's still an obvious call there, right, Bill?
They did come down right at the end and they go into the cage, because if he would have just
slid up on
mask,
top,
he'd have been okay.
Okay.
But
So
they
you
did
did see
slide down right at the very end and got the mask.
Well, you got good eyes. I was caught up in the visor.
Blind squirrel finds an acorn.
Penalty moves the ball inside the 40. A lot of self-inflicted wounds for OU so far. And off Bishop patiently picks his way off the right side. Just a short gain. Wine made the play.
Remember, the Vols have had their opportunities in plus territory, and remember that scoop and score after the blitz of Heinicke getting it out. R. Mason Thomas scored. They were to 19 and missed a field goal. So they've missed some opportunities, and now here they are in plus territory again.
Play fake. Aguilar launches down the middle of the end zone, and it's intercepted. Coming across was Peyton Bowen, the safety, trying to make another big play for Oklahoma on a return. He's going to be brought down at the 41. Aguilar a little bit greedy, threw into double coverage.
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly stated comment, Chris, because he sees the safety, but it really wonder for him to float this up like that. He just doesn't really take this safety into consideration. The AT&T connected clicker really shows you here, and it allows the safety to just come over. He floated that. The first mistake we've really seen from Aguilar, where he floats the deep ball and allows the safety Bowen to come over, and he's too athletic, too natural of an instinct of safety to be able to float it up like that. So good play and another missed opportunity for the Vols in plus territory, and the Sooners defense gets off the field. Remember, turnover margin has been a major problem for the Sooners, and right now they're +2.
7th pick for Aguilar, but they've been some costly ones this season. And now Mateer trying to create. Long throw is incomplete. Had a couple of interceptions in the loss here. But Georgia had that 99-yard pick six by Alabama, biggest play of that game. So in general, he's kind of kept the picks under control, but when he's thrown them, they've been damaging.
Yeah. It's really been. If I'm a Tennessee fan, obviously, or a player, more importantly, you're frustrated because you've been able to dominate this game and control it, but missing out on opportunities in plus territory has given the Sooners life.
The Satania comes in motion. They don't give it to him. Mateer weaves his way, and the dynamic receiver still waiting for his first touch tonight. Quarterback did pick up 7.
Yeah, but by using him there almost as a decoy, they're able to pick up some good yards. There's West, who's down.
Tyree West, the defensive end. You bet your eyes on the feet of John Mateer, and some unusual mechanics, I think, for him.
And a lot of times, here he is elevated, both feet off the ground, making throws. A lot of quarterbacks, they'll tell you, in the modern game with rotational throwing, all the power comes from the ground. Your feet into the ground, whether you're a golfer or a baseball player in the batter's box, you create that torque and that power and the rotation from the ground up. And tonight he's been a little jittery, jumping around back there in the backfield.
Meanwhile, the Sooner defense, 2 desperately needed takeaways. They've been a problem. They only had 4 takeaways all season coming in. 2 of those, by the way, were against Kent State. 1 was a pick on a fake punt. So the defense has really had a problem taking the ball away. And without those 2 takeaways tonight, this game will be out of hand.
Yeah, just missed opportunities, and also the Sooners doing what they need to do defensively.
3:23 to go before halftime. We've got timeout here. Chance to check in with Kevin Negandhi in the studio. Hey, Kevin.
Chris, Capital One halftime report minutes away. We got Joey Galloway in studio.
Why you said
Career
Kevin
day
Negandhi like I'm
fan.
not here, but let's go.
He knows you're here. He's there for support no matter
go.
what. He's going to tune in at the half, by the way. Also, we're going to have Georgia surviving highlights coming your way. Reaction as well as they beat Florida. Meanwhile, South Carolina taking on Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off the last time we saw them beating OU, and Trinidad Chambliss, it's his legs.
And this is what he adds to the program for this offense of Ole Miss, his ability to run the football. Big play. But we've seen South Carolina playing close games. They took Alabama to the end just last week.
It's close right now on ESPN. 17-14 Ole Miss in the third quarter. Chris, back to you and Kirk.
And Kevin, Joe Scott Galloway, apologies. I did not know he was.
Oh, he didn't know.
No.
I thought he was still
Now I
in
know.
his Batman outfit. I don't know what the heck Joey's doing. I don't know what studio he's in.
But now I'm locked in. I want to hear what he has to say with Kevin and Hank.
Yeah. Forget.
For the athletic training staffs for both teams, especially lately Tennessee, have been really busy. Yeah, there's a collision there between two volunteer players. West went down hard. He just slammed in to his teammate there. Slow to get up. It was Ben Bolton, the linebacker that West collided with. And guys flying around and converging in the
to see.
ball carrier. Able to slowly walk up. They'll no doubt take a close look at him when he gets to the sidelines. Mandatory that they stop and check him out when it's an apparent head injury. So it's a 3rd and 3 for Oklahoma.
Sooners are yet to convert a third down. 0 for 3 tonight.
Total yards 249 to 74. And it's still tied.
How about 74 on offense and 108 on return yards off of those turnovers?
Including the only touchdown Oklahoma has produced tonight. R. Mason Thomas, who left the game after injuring his hamstring on that play.
Empty it out. Always a threat to run the ball if he gets the numbers right.
They bring Blaylock back into the backfield. And Mateer, pitch and catch, and they finally involve Isaiah Sategna. Top receiver on this team, picks up 13 and a first down.
Now that ball had some zip on it, and thankfully his feet were set into the ground as he made that throw, and it's good to see Five get his hands on a football.
Hadn't even been targeted until that play.
No, as we've talked all throughout this first half, he's the real difference maker. 114 yards a catch and comes up big there with their first conversion of a third down.
4th-year junior, transfer from Arkansas. And off inside, and Blaylock, not much room. Met right at the line of scrimmage by that black-clad volunteer defense. See if Oklahoma runs another play. If we take it down to the 2-minute timeout here. 2nd and 10. Now they won't have time to get the play off. So Oklahoma in scoring position inside the Tennessee 40, trying to take the lead after a half in which they have been completely outplayed. 2 takeaways have been enormous. 10 apiece at the 2-minute timeout. Beautiful night on Rocky Top. 2 6-2 teams that cannot afford another loss to keep hopes alive for the college football playoff. 2 minutes in the first half. Sategna's in the backfield, by the way, as Oklahoma lines up on 2nd and 10, trying to take the lead. They pitch it back to Deion Burks in the reverse, and that play produces about 5 yards. We'll set up a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, a little wrinkle there. Try to catch the defense's eyes and then come back the other way. He kind of fumbled with the snap. It was off to his right. He was able to secure it to be able to get that ball to Burks. And now they got another third down. Remember, they converted their first one. The last time they faced a third down, it hit Satinga.
He's lined up in the slot to the right, now comes in motion. It's here under pressure, crossing route. Canics got it, the tight end, but not nearly enough for the first down. And Arian Carter just gritting his teeth and playing through some pain tonight. Made the stop in his linebacker position. And a timeout's been taken by Tennessee to preserve some time here.
And Chris,
and a field goal attempt coming up.
And that's good against good. You know, we talked about whether or not he'd be able to go, and right away he dialed up man coverage, and they were able to get it in there because the tight coverage. There's no yards after that catch at all. They brought that blitz again with Spillman. Had to go up and over him even to get that ball off.
You got Tate Sandell. He's 5'9", 182, but hammered it through from 55 and then let the Volunteers know. He's got his like shorts on. I guess that's no longer frowned upon in the sport.
Yeah, I guess not. It is with me, but
those are the shortest I've ever seen on a football field.
Should be,
right?
Bill, that should be a penalty. Just dressing like that should be a penalty. What the hell is it? Wearing shorts out there?
It's another 50 plus. This from 51 to give Oklahoma the lead. Sandell, short shorts, but not short on distance. Powers it through again from 51, and Oklahoma is on top on Rocky Top. Venables smiling for good reason. His team's been outplayed with the 2 takeaways. Not done much on offense, but they got a kicker.
Yeah, got his Daisy Dukes on and puts it right in the middle again. From 51. Uh-oh, here he comes again, letting people know. But, hey, can you believe that Brent Venables is up 13-10? Remember, they defer. They get the ball to start the second half. Tennessee's going to look to be able to put some points up on the board here, but if you're just tuning in, or maybe you've been watching the whole game, it's pretty shocking that the Vols do not have a lead, unable to finish off some drives. They had 3 trips inside Oklahoma's 40-yard line and somehow -7 because of the sack, the scoop, and the score. And we're still going to try to come up with points here to try to maybe tie it up.
Of course, he had the scoop and score for 7. That 3 points comes off another takeaway. Oklahoma's going to get the football to begin the second half, so Heupel wants to try to make something happen. A couple of timeouts and a minute 8 to work with. Sandell's kick fielded by Lewis. He'll try to give some field position to the Vols offense, and he's going to be knocked down short of the 25. The miscues we've talked about for this Tennessee team. They did miss a field goal. It's a miscommunication.
They get beat on the right side there by Heineke. Mason Thomas ends up hurting himself on that play, but a touchdown. It's a 14-point swing. Chip shot really from the 19-yard line. They miss an easy 3 points, and then another missed opportunity here deep in Oklahoma territory. Floats it up in the air and allows Peyton Bowen to come over and make a big interception. Sooners have 2 turnovers in that first half.
Tennessee's going to end up running more than twice the number of plays in the first half of the Sooners. This is their 46th play already, and Aguilar under heavy pressure hit as he throws, and it was behind Bishop. That was the guy Taylor Wine off the edge.
Yeah, with Mason Thomas down, you're seeing obviously Marvin Jones Jr., who's normally out there. Wine, usually a rotational guy, but with Thomas down, he's had to step up and has really done a heck of a job. Remember, he is from Brentwood, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, went to Nolensville High School, so you know he's fired up to go up against the Vols tonight.
And we talked to him about 10 members of the family, a whole bunch of friends here. A lot of folks growing up were Volunteer fans, so it always gives you a little extra boost.
Yeah, 10 tackles already in this first half. That's a career high, so family and friends got to be excited about what he's doing. It's his dad looking on.
Wasn't really a Volunteer fan growing up, he told us, but he did come to some games here, and then we got all kinds of chaos before the snap. Vols pointing over at the Oklahoma defense.
You know, it hasn't just been the penalties on Oklahoma, it's the timing of these penalties. And a lot of times on third down, if this one ends up going up against OU, looked like OU jumped. A lot of discussion.
Offside, defense number 10. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Remember the very first series of the game.
10-second run off the clock was the snap.
They had gotten off the field, built a bit of a defensive holding penalty, prolonged that eventual touchdown drive for Tennessee.
So instead of 3rd and 6 here late, and this Tennessee offense, they can get downfield in the blink of an eye to get in field goal range. Now instead of 3rd and 6, you got 3rd and 1.
And that's Kip Lewis, the top tackler, one of the leaders of the defense, guilty of that time. And on 3rd and 1, he handed to Bishop and able to just get enough for a first down before Heineke made his 11th tackle of the half.
And Heupel calls. No, he was about to call the timeout, but instead with the first down, clock stops. They're going to go fast.
Downfield launch, and it's an easy interception. He threw it right to Robert Spears-Jennings, and look out, Oklahoma with another big return tonight. Down inside the 30. They've got 16 seconds to work with here. Taylor Wine and the pressure.
I mean, for all the good, there's a lot of frustrating moments here, and Aguilar hasn't been this guy much all year. It's his second time tonight. And I'm sure Josh Heupel's talking about it to him about the predetermining and just throwing the football. Safety sitting back here. He's just kind of trying to prevent a big play from happening. Aguilar comes from his left to his right, just kind of floats it up there, hoping at the tight end. Davis can run underneath it, but there's not a read there. That's just looking from your left, trying to move the safety, hoping he moves, and then just throwing it up and hoping that the big tight end makes a play. But another easy interception for a safety. Bowen had the first one. Spears-Jennings picks this one up, and that's the 3rd turnover that OU defense has created in the first half.
And will that let OU add to this 3-point lead? 16 seconds to work with. The one timeout already well within field goal range for Sandell, of course. Mateer rolls, scans, takes a shot for the end zone, and it's over the head of Deion Burks. Colton Hood in coverage, so they've got 11 seconds to work with.
And that's the beauty of having a kicker as hot as their kicker is right now. You can take a few shots downfield like that. You're already in field goal range with the way Sandell's kicking. And if you get a one-on-one matchup you like, why not go downfield? That one they almost were able to sneak into in a one-on-one matchup to Burks. Remember, their most talented, maybe most physically talented receivers down at the bottom. That's Gibson, 11. That has good size.
Satania slot right, and they're going to run the ball, and Robinson barrels ahead. Of course, they had that timeout to spend and playing for a field goal attempt now.
Smart. Again, this is house money. You get an interception, you have a chance to get a field goal, and then you get the ball to start the second half. Instead of taking a chance, Brent Venables showing some wisdom there. Just get it in the middle of the field, kick the field goal.
That's interesting, you know, when they met a year ago, it was Jackson Arnold, Nico Iamaleava, the two 5-star hyped recruit quarterbacks. Of course, they've moved on to UCLA and Auburn, respectively. Arnold not starting this game this week for Auburn. And now you've got two guys that have traveled. Of course, high expectations for John Mateer. Perhaps a little bit less hype surrounding Joey Aguilar, but the guy has had a terrific start to this season, Kirk. Just uncharacteristic kind of brain freezes and a couple of picks.
Yeah, and for both teams, turnover margin was the first thing both sides talked to us about. And Oklahoma, who's been -6 all year, they're +3 and 13 points off of it, potentially 16 points here.
So Oklahoma, chance to take a 6-point lead, and they will get the football to begin the second half. Sooners trying to come on the road and do something they haven't done in a long time, which is beat a ranked team away from Norman. Hasn't been a great first half, to say the least, for Mateer. 7 completions for just 44 yards. Did have a 22-yard run.
That's your comment there, and that's incredible.
Venables, under his guidance, 0-3 against ranked on the road. So here's Sandell. One of the stars of this first half for Oklahoma, trying to make it 3 for 3 from 40. And the lefty stays perfect on the night. And Oklahoma, underdogs on the road here, lead it by 6. Despite not having 100 yards of total offense in that first half and giving up 255 to Tennessee. Takeaways, the difference. And Josh Heupel, no doubt, will have a little visit with his quarterback at halftime, trying to get him to clear that static out of the head. Let's get Venables' reaction to this first half with Holly.
Well, Coach, your defense has 3 takeaways tonight. You had 4 on the whole season. How have they been able to find that productivity?
Just done a really good job. I think our pressure up front is, making the quarterback move in the pocket and getting a little bit uncomfortable, changing some coverages up. Guys are doing a great job seeing the ball.
Some of your guys are really stepping up, like Taylor Wine, a kid from Tennessee. Yeah. Arm Mason is out. Do you expect him to return?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see when we go inside, but Taylor's doing a great job.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Well, you see Thomas being helped off, so it doesn't seem likely he'll return, but Oklahoma's defense, the story of this first half, 16-10 Sooners. Time now for the Capital One halftime report. Let's get back to Kevin Negandhi and Joey Galloway. Set for the second half and a dark mode night on Rocky Top, the SEC on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One, part of SEC All Day, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Oklahoma up 6, gets the football to begin the second half. Chris, Kirk, and Holly back with you. Some weird, uncharacteristic stuff tonight, right? I mean, Tennessee has protected Aguilar well all season. Tonight, 3 sacks, including a strip sack for a touchdown. He's thrown 2 picks, and the Tennessee defense, which hasn't stopped anybody all year, actually has a pretty good first half under their belt.
If I'm Tennessee, first of all, their defense is going to start out, but if you want to get back into a rhythm, they got to run the football better. They've really struggled to establish that, and that's where this offense starts. And see if they can get that going in the second half.
Y'all say bus. Sam Mitchell piloting to Knoxville. What's your All-State good hands play this weekend?
Well, I think we're going to look at this first half. Owen Henneke makes his sack. Watch this, by the way. One hand for our Mason Thomas. That's one play with the good hands. And now you got a couple picks. Loaded it up. Peyton Bowen came over, made an interception. Robert Spears-Jennings came over, made an interception. 2 miscues there and unfortunate throws by Aguilar. And there's our Mason Thomas. We don't expect him back after the return. He looked like he may have pulled a hammy, but he's still dressed and out there as an alpha and a leader of this defense.
So Matier and the Sooners, not a very productive first half, able to kick a couple of field goals off the takeaways, and they work to Kanik for a short gain. Picked up about 7. Sooners haven't exactly run the ball very well. Matier had that 22-yard scramble. The Volunteers have contained the running backs. The pitch and catch. Satania with his second catch, and little rhythm, little tempo for OU right away here.
Yeah, and a nice long throw there. We talked a lot about John Matier. Still just looked rushed, looked unsettled. It's kind of been a theme for him since he's returned from that thumb injury. The first 4 weeks of the season, really playing within the structure of the offense, scrambling, just looked in command, and obviously kind of been searching for that. Good to see him kind of come out, get it settled back in, make a couple easy throws.
44 yards passing in the first half. That was it. They have 16 in their first 2 plays. Play fake again, and it's incomplete. On the slant, Gibson well defended by Ty Redmond.
Yeah, he saw Farouk, the safety, blitz down on a run-pass option. Linebacker as well, Spillman. So he gets a one-on-one opportunity there, but good tight coverage there by the freshman Redmond and knocked that one away.
Seen 2 freshman corners really step up and play well tonight. One for either team. Going into heavy traffic. Jackson Moy just batted it down. Sears had a kind of a trouble finding kind of clear passing lanes over the middle tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Chris, watch Satania work his way underneath kind of a delayed screen, but there's just too much traffic. The Bulls did a heck of a job there sniffing that out. Moy was right there in the nose guard, not fooled at all.
Drive got off to a quick start. Now Matier faces a 3rd and 10 to keep it going. Brad Loud again. Balls rush 5. Matier. Pocket collapses. Down he goes. Dominic Bailey. Jackson Moy, who was huge in that series, and they force a punt.
Well, Fujay, the freshman right tackle, out here by himself, going up against a really talented pass rusher, and Bailey, an experienced guy, able to use leverage. Matier held up, but then Moy finished it off. So the Vols' defensive front does their job in applying that pressure on a big 3rd down. Again, Oklahoma 1 of 6 now on 3rd downs.
Against a volunteer defense and 114th in points allowed, 101st in yards allowed. They really haven't stopped anybody. The punt is muffed, and diving on it is Boo Carter. And Holly, let's check with you.
Well, I asked Josh Heupel about those 2 interceptions from his quarterback in the first half, and he said, I had a conversation with him. Just go play ball. Don't overthink it. 2 bad throws. We've got to move on. But he did say he is having some problems identifying the safety when the safeties rotate. He said he's just got to do a better job diagnosing that. And then he did say the pressure is getting into his face. A couple of times there's pressure in his face as he's trying to make tough throws. They've got to give him a little bit more time to get the ball downfield.
Heupel and Joey Halzle, the offensive coordinator, both played the position in college. Heupel at a really high level, Heisman runner-up. And there's a misfire right away. Brazel looking at palms up. Staley was running down the field, and Aguilar not close to either one of them.
No, he threw it right in the middle of both his receivers. Just a miscommunication. Brazel just kind of looked up like, where was that one going? Under pressure tonight. 3 of 7, sacked 3 times. A couple of those interceptions where he floated it up there.
And Joey delivers a long throw. Catch made by Brazel. Still running. He'd had 4 straight incompletions, including 2 picks. That snaps a little slump. Picked up 27.
Really good job. Man coverage. See the inside receiver takes the safety with him. Opens up a good throwing lane, and he puts it right on the money.
Bishop ahead for about 3. So if you're Joey, and look, you've beaten the people you're supposed to beat. You haven't beaten Georgia, Alabama, now another tough opponent. He's got 1 year here at Tennessee to kind of show what he can do. You know he's going to be determined to improve in that first half.
Absolutely. And sitting here, both these teams, just to kind of reset where we are, both teams at 6-2. Both teams have to win this game to keep their hopes alive at getting opportunities down the road later in this year.
Pulls it, zips it across the middle, incomplete. That was Ethan Davis, the tight end, but in close coverage was Eli Bowen.
Yeah, Davis comes inside. It would have been great if he stayed a little bit more to the outside, because he works himself right into coverage there where the safety was. He stays wider. It's a much easier throw for Aguilar. And a lot more space.
You said run the ball. It feels like the running plays are just kind of a temporary change of pace.
I agree.
Right? Not a big commitment to it tonight. 3rd and 8, of course, looking to throw from the pocket. And it's caught by Staley, who bounces off 2 Sooners and goes down the sideline. All the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. 54 yards.
That is one incredible effort by Braylon Staley on a 3rd down to be able to get the yards he needed for the first down, and why not? Why not take it to the house? Picks up a good block by Brazel, but he was able to split 2 Oklahoma defenders.
Two guys had a chance to get him down, kind of bumped into each other, and Staley, part of that three-headed monster receiving corps puts Tennessee back on top.
Yeah, and Chris Guillory, the freshman on the way to the outside, has got to be able to make this tackle. He comes up, he's in position, and just doesn't wrap up. Now Brazel right there makes a nice block on Spears Jennings, and then it's just a foot race.
Longest play they've allowed all season, and the Sooners suddenly down one early third quarter on Rocky Top. Aguilar to Staley, touchdowns to begin the game, and now begin the second half. And Tennessee back on top by one. Just a minute 18 to take it 83 yards. Kirbyville's kick out the back of the end zone.
I think Aguilar may have been fooled by Cortland Guillory, who shows man coverage, and I think he's expecting him to follow Brazel downfield and man coverage, but instead he comes off that. He's just sitting in zone, so he's in perfect position, bang, to make that tackle, but instead he misses the tackle. Got to wrap up. He's a young freshman who will learn, and then there's 17 Brazel with that block. But we've talked all night that Tennessee has a great group of wide receivers, and that time Staley makes one of the biggest plays of the game.
So now Mateer have to answer on the road here, and this place has come alive on this dark mode night. Robinson hammers forward. Solid gain of 5 on first down.
Much like Tennessee, I think in a game like this, you don't just become one-dimensional. If you're Ben Arbuckle, you keep feeding those backs, get them both a chance to run downhill.
Pitch to the edge, and that's Jermichael Carter, just his second catch of the season. Picked up 7 and a first down.
Yeah, he got the numbers that he wanted into the boundary, had a couple blockers out in front. Easy, quick throw. Basically an extension of the run game there, getting it out to Carter quickly.
Three receivers to the left. That's where Mateer was looking, and now he's going to be slung down, flagged down, as Jalen McMurray got him right near the line of scrimmage. It's a hold.
That's the running back Robinson trying to pick up the blitz.
Holding off at number 24. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
McMurray, a Temple transfer. He plays the star position.
He's right here. His eyes are here, so he's out of position. Kind of surprised with the blitz, with his eyes in the inside. A little bit surprised when McMurray came, so he's out of position, and the leverage working to the outside forced the hold.
So 1st and 20 after the penalty. Volunteers don't bring pressure. Mateer on the move, zips it across the middle, and it's dropped by Deion Burks. The reliable senior transfer from Purdue, and suddenly Oklahoma staggered a bit after giving up that touchdown, going backwards.
Yep, and that play could not have developed any more perfectly for Oklahoma, and Mateer against that zone look opened up, made a great throw, had an opportunity probably for yards after the catch, but just a drop there by Burks.
Hoping Satania can create some magic on the edge on 3rd and long, but Colton Hood drops him for a 4-yard gain. That holding penalty, the pass rush affecting things, and the Sooners will punt.
And give credit to Colton Hood there. What a job he does, not just being able to, look how he attacked Burks.
They probably will punt, but it's still 3rd and 16. That's
3rd and a long way to go.
So hold that thought.
I didn't say anything. Hold that thought.
I jumped the guy. Mateer trying to get there with his legs. No punt team. And the quarterback extends the drive with a scramble, his second big scramble tonight. Picked up, again, 22 yards.
He said, take that, Chris.
Yeah.
How about that? Zone defense. Look how they just sit back. Okay, now they're going to react, but there's a nice block there by the running back, Robinson, out of the backfield, and then it's just him being a natural ball carrier, feeling the instincts. Joseph almost picks up that sack, but This is what he was doing earlier in the year before that thumb injury. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, had determination to get there, and I love that he didn't wait. He was decisive right away, saw an opening, said, what the heck, I'm going to give it a try, see if I can get it. And again, we got another injury.
That's Jordan Ross down. Yeah, now he's not done a lot of scrambling or design runs in the game since that thumb surgery, and you want to protect it, but tonight when he needs it, a pair of 22-yard runs.
That's a big part of his game. It's good to see. You know, at this point, in talking to he and Ben Arbuckle and Brent Venables, it sounds like that thumb, I know even he still has it taped, but it's not even on his mind, right? I mean, he's thinking about just execution, which is where you want his mind to be.
A hard-hitting game. Guys on both sides going down. The training staffs have been extremely busy. Next Saturday, college game day, built by the Home Depot, heading to Lubbock, Texas to set up the showdown between undefeated BYU against Texas Tech. Another road win for the Red Raiders against the Purple Cats today. And we're going to have that game for you. It's a noon Eastern time kick. We haven't been there in a long time.
In a long time. Michael Crabtree catch? I think that was the last time we were at the
top 5 collision. They beat number 1 Texas. Yeah.
08?
There we go.
Chris Fowler was on the sideline here. Hopefully we'll see his facial expression. There's Lee Corso back there. There's Chris Fowler. Michael Crabtree shocks the world. How about Lubbock that night? Knocks off number 1.
Unhinged.
They were surfing on top of cars.
There were 20 dudes in the back of a pickup truck rolling down the main drag there. It was
quite a scene.
It was.
And how about Bear Bachmeier and what BYU have been able to do this year? Young freshman.
So Oklahoma trying to respond here. Down 1 in Tennessee territory. Kind of a little pitch. Robinson works his way to the edge. And solid game before Redmond pushed him out. Picked up. He's really going to spot it. About 8.
Good job here with the receivers doing their jobs. Frees up the linemen, be able to pull around, get out in front to Suey, the freshman.
Fake it to Robinson. Long pitch. Burks goes down, makes the grab. Hood makes the stop, but it's a first down at the 36.
This feels like Oklahoma. They're running the football. They're getting the ball out quickly. You're seeing Mateer create, make some plays. This is really the first drive where it's felt like there's a rhythm and what you expect from the identity of this Sooners offense.
Mateer rolling. Has to step up to avoid the rush. Takes off again. Takes a big hit. That time put himself in harm's way, paid the price for a 4-yard gain.
The big Bryson Eason finished that off, 6'3", 315-pounder, chasing that from the backside.
David Hobbs got a lick on him, too.
But Mateer is, from the first half where he is indecisive and unsure, he looks, at least on this drive, much more comfortable and much more decisive, making better decisions and quicker decisions.
5 receivers, no backs in the ball game. Play clock at 4. Didn't have time to make adjustments. Stepped up there and lost track, and he forces Oklahoma to spend a timeout.
Yep, lost it.
5 seconds to go, and he wanted to go up and adjust the protection. Oklahoma, a promising drive after Tennessee threw a haymaker to take a 1-point lead. And this festive night after Halloween, setting up for a great finish in Rocky Top. Midway third quarter, 1-point game. Halloween. It was festive here last night. I promise you. Look at our crew.
Skip's
involved in it.
Get the whole crew.
Banana. This is an inside joke here. This is our director, Jimmy Platt, on the right.
Oh my
dressed
God.
as Bill Bunnell. His costume.
That's classic.
The hoodie.
That is
excellent
classic.
Spirit. Good at their jobs and know how to have fun too. 2nd and 6. Ninth play of this drive.
What'd you go as?
Old sportscaster. Same as Pat McAfee. Robinson off the right side. Picks up a couple. And they went to the run there. And it sets up a 3rd down. And about 4.
This will be the 10th play of this drive. They're again going with some tempo.
Here comes the pressure. Mateer gets it out. Burks makes the grab. It is a first down at the 25. Holton Hood delivered the shot. Protection held up that time.
A switch release with cushion. Little bit of work for Colton Hood to have to be able to get there with that switch release. So a good time to call that by Ben Arbuckle. And a good job again by the quarterback, Mateer, getting that out quickly on that 3rd down and short.
Oklahoma has not had a red zone possession tonight. They're getting close. Robinson off the right side, breaks a tackle, cuts back, lost the football. Flag is down, it's still loose. Looks like the Volunteers have recovered. There is a flag out. Idris Farouk made the recovery down to the 11-yard line. It is Tennessee ball. There is a flag down though. Tyree Weathersby knocked the ball loose. He has limped to the Tennessee sideline. Excuse me, that's Joshua Josephs
During the play, holding,
who was helped off.
Offense number 86. That carries decline. Result was a first down for Tennessee.
Another Tennessee turnover, number 4 in the night, and they're in scoring position.
I think Farouk, 15, he punches, like literally punched the ball, which brought it out. Withersby ends up finishing, and in the ball, then it's just who's going to get to it. Look at that. That's intentional, obviously practice. It's something that Tim Banks and his crew work on, and it pays off. We just talked about this being the best drive of the night for the Sooners, and it ends up in a turnover.
I meant to say, turnovers have been Tennessee's problem. That's the first takeaway for this defense. And Oklahoma was poised to reclaim the lead. Venables smiling through the pain that time. And now Tennessee from the 10. Around the end. String out Thomas. Heineke makes the stop. Wait, or did he? Still going. He broke free. Had him pinned on the sidelines. I think the Sooners thought he'd made the stop. I did too. Somehow he stayed in bounds over there.
Well, he just kept moving those legs.
Ooh.
Left foot looks very, very close to stepping out as he spins.
Yeah, I think he did step
right
out.
Foot's in there. The left foot there steps out of bounds.
They're going to buzz it down. Tennessee trying to play fast.
Did not step out of bounds on the previous plays under video review. Timeout.
Really did a good job to spin away. Again, not great finishing on the tackling by Oklahoma.
No, they didn't. They did not. But his left foot stepped out right about. They're on the right there. You can't see it. The 15-yard line. That'll come way back.
It's going to take about 23 yards or so.
This foot right there. See that he's out of bounds. Yeah. I'm with you, Chris, on the tackling. Safeties struggling at times wrapping up.
It wasn't as clear on that look that he did step out of bounds. Remember, they ruled that he stayed in bounds. They got to see evidence that his foot hit the paint. Jim Laborde is the replay official.
That one's in. Bill, what do you think? That looks like it's on the line to me.
Yeah, that left foot's touching the line. They'll bring it back to that spot. It's a good review by replay. They'll change it.
Another look. Great effort by Thomas to spin free instead of a first down out at the 38, though. If they do reverse the call, they'll move the ball back to the 15. Be 2nd and 5. Man, what a twist and turn we've had in this game, but especially in this third quarter. Tennessee strikes quickly. Oklahoma finally puts together a really good rhythmic drive down in scoring position. Finally hit the red zone. Boom. Yep. Ball punched out.
Both these teams have had their chances in plus territory. First half, we had 3 trips inside the 40-yard line for Josh Heupel, and just not able to come away with a lot of production. And yet the explosive, think about how many big plays that they've hit. Plays of 54, 40, 37, 27, 24, 19, 17, 17, 16. 9 plays of over 15 yards or more. You would think they'd be up, by 14, 21 points, but because of the turnovers.
Yeah, the missed field goal was part of it in the first half for Tennessee. Taking a long time to check out the replay of Thomas's left foot on the paint. Apparently wasn't crystal clear to them. Jason Autry will, I hope, soon give us the verdict. They're probably figuring out exactly where to spot the ball.
After video review, the runner stepped out of bounds with the ball just beyond the 15-yard line. It's 2nd down.
Tennessee has not really gotten the ground game going. The running backs, none of them have averaged more than 3.2 per carry. Just 51 net yards if you factor in the 3 sacks of Aguilar. Very different looking attack from the offense last year, which faced Dylan Sampson, and he had a monster season running the ball. Feed Thomas again. Not much. He'll set up 3rd down. About 2.5.
As this game goes on into the second half, depth will be challenged. Battle of wills, attrition, because again, Tennessee had 49 snaps in the first half. They were on pace at one point for over 100 snaps in this game. It slowed down, but still, with the injuries mounting, who's going to be standing in the 4th quarter?
Volunteers really efficient on 3rd down tonight, but not this time. They tried a straight run and tackled from behind. And Barore with the tackle.
And he's right here, Chris. He works inside and then uses his speed. He's 6'4", 261 pounds. And what a play, chasing that from the inside and to be able to bring the quarterback down. If he doesn't make that play, that's a 1st down.
So the Sooners get a rare 3rd down stop tonight. Jackson Ross to punt it for the first time tonight. And they'll be backed up with a misfire pre-snap.
False start, kicking team number 37. 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Adibawue making that play with our Mason Thomas down. That depth we just talked about being challenged. And he just made a play.
Thomas has been over there trying to be a leader, trying to encourage the team, even though he's not able to go back out there. Ross's punt, fielded by Satania near midfield. So Oklahoma fumble on the last possession. The defense gets right back the football to John Mateer. Kirk tonight's playbook brought to you by Modelo.
Well, Tennessee's done a very good job, especially in the first half, on John Mateer, making him uncomfortable, unsure, little erratic, bringing a variety of blitzes, winning up front, bringing a lot of pressure. Then just when it looked like they put together their best drive last time they had the football, ball goes on the ground. So the Vols defense has stepped up.
Tavia Robinson, who did fumble the ball back in the game to the left of Mateer. Good protection, slant again, catch made, and still running is Jermichael Carter. Seldom used this season, but big play there, Holly.
Well, Kirk, this defense has done a good job, as you just mentioned, but they are now down 3 different defensive ends. Tyree West will not return. Joshua Joseph has still been in the injury tent, being evaluated for a lower leg injury. Jordan Ross, his backup, has been out. They fit him for a new knee brace. He's been trying to test that out on the sideline. So that leaves Caleb Herring in there right now at the defensive end position.
Serious test of depth for that Tennessee front. And now the pre-snap false start on the Sooners just when they appeared to have some momentum.
Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Pierre-Louis, the guard.
And that's where Dominique Bailey becomes number 90 on Tennessee's defense. Such a valuable asset. He has the ability to play inside. He can play outside. And now with the injuries Holly just talked about, he'll be forced to be out there more on the edge. 292-pounder with some versatility.
And 1st and 15, Mateer delivers a downfield throw. Catch is made by Sategna. The big play weapon for this OU offense picks up 24.
And watch Jermichael Carter actually holds the safety right here, and then he's decisive by getting the ball out right now. Really well done. Great execution there. And finally, get the ball to 5. Let him do his thing.
First real explosive play for this speedy weapon. Oklahoma in the red zone. First official red zone trip. They fumbled the ball after running into the red zone last time, but did never run a play inside the 20. Picked up a couple. Still going. Have they not blown the whistle? Finally they do. Robinson never did go to the ground.
And I think this is the best ball that Mateer has thrown all night. Look at the receiver to the outside. He works inside, and then he knew exactly where he wanted to go with that ball. The ball came out, but Sategna clearly had possession before it gets knocked out of his hands. But a rope there to get that first down and big yards deeper into Tennessee territory.
See Mateer with a couple of scrambles. Obviously an effective weapon on design runs as well in the red zone. And right on cue, Mateer bursts up the middle. Knocked down, 1st and goal, Oklahoma.
Yeah, and the jet sweep that time, the fake to Burks. Man coverage, the defense fast flowing with it. And as you said, I think everybody knew, including the defensive coordinator, Tim Banks, anytime they get inside that 15-yard line, you're alert to Mateer's threat. But I think that jet motion, the speed of it, caught their eyes, and it allowed him to be able to get underneath and to kind of cut back underneath that for good yards.
OU offense has not scored a touchdown yet tonight. Robinson changes that as he dives across the goal line. OU back on top late 3rd quarter.
Well, that was an exclamation on how you finish. Down close inside that 5-yard line. Farouk, the safety, came up, and that was a big-time collision with Robinson, a 240-pound running back, lowered his shoulder, got downhill, and ran right through the safety to get across that goal line for the touchdown.
Oklahoma, great field position to start. They get 52 yards in 5 plays to jump back on top.
Chris, let's go back to the previous play where they got some yards. I mentioned the jet sweep action. Watch the defense fast flow and react to this. And as you said, an indicator is usually look out for Mateer, but look at that open up because of how quickly the defense was so concerned with getting out there with the speed of that motion. And then watch the power, lower the shoulder, bang, right there. And then get into the end zone, send a message. So after they fumble, the OU defense does their job with a 3-and-out, got good field position, favorable field position, and then this time 5 plays, 52 yards, and they finish it off with a touchdown. Big sequence of events there that favor OU.
Yeah, we wonder from the start tonight, would Mateer as a runner reemerge? He's been absent since that thumb surgery. He's got 45 scramble yards, which is a season high and a high for him at Oklahoma, and then that design run to set up the touchdown.
It's just
passing him's been a struggle.
He's at his best when he's not sitting back in the pocket waiting for things to happen. He's at his best when he plays instinctive and decisive and just gets back there and plays ball. We've seen that in this second half. First half he was searching. As an offense they were searching. The second half they've kind of settled in, made some adjustments, and looked much better.
Check in with Kevin Negandhi.
Chris, Chick-fil-A move on the field. Number 8, Georgia Tech, undefeated, in trouble at NC State. C.J. Bailey to Teddy Hoffman, 55-yard touchdown. And Tech coming in just a 4.5-point favorite. Right now, they trail by 11 with under 5 to go over on ESPN2. Back to you guys.
Did you call that?
There were two sneaky ACC games today. Miami and SMU and Georgia Tech at NC State.
Kitzel makes the catch. Yeah, if NC State holds on for the upset, big picture, not a great day for the ACC.
Not at all.
Taking a second loss. Their playoff hopes may have evaporated in Dallas, and Georgia Tech, undefeated season, very much in danger at the moment.
Feeling more and more like a one-team conference.
Brazel hit immediately after the catch, just knocked down. And that's Davon Jordan making the play.
A quick reaction, got off the block and finished on the play.
Sets up a 3rd down and 6. Tennessee just trying to get this up and running to stop the Sooners' momentum. OU showing a lot of pre-snap pressure. Now they back out. Totally changed the look.
Yeah, they're still communicating, still giving different looks.
Aguilar has time. Hit as he throws. He finally ran out of time. And a wounded duck almost intercepted. Kip Lewis brought the pressure, kind of cut him in half. And that ball falls to the ground as he avoids another interception.
Well, they're dancing around, moving around, and then you'll see 10 eventually right here be able to hit what he needs to do and finishing on the play. Good job by Bishop picking it up. But because of the effort and the coverage downfield, Kip Lewis able to impact that right there as he throws the ball. Good clean hit.
So back-to-back 3-and-outs for this Tennessee offense. The first 2 punts for Jackson Ross. And this one fair caught at the 24. Oklahoma back on offense, up 6, final minute, 3rd quarter. Above Neyland Stadium, the view that's proven legendary. Brought to you by Goodyear. Well, both teams knew what was at stake. Which team could show poise? We see down the stretch, teams and individuals do out-of-character things. When all of a sudden you hit this part of this season, you got to have the win. Can you keep your poise? Can you make plays when needed? That's what decides which teams get to realize their goals and which teams end up disappointed. Sooners from the 25. Mateer took a look. Another design run. And Mateer began to really shred this Tennessee defense. Picked up 9 more.
Different guy, right? Different guy in his second half. And see Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer, offensive coordinator, quarterback, came over from Washington State together. A lot of noise being made about them in the first part of the season. Things got a little quieter since the injury, and right now they are in sync. Seeing that quarterback counter, no hesitation, running with authority, lowering his shoulder on that first down play.
Easy for Arbuckle to call a play on 2nd and 1. They're going to pitch to Burks on the edge, and Burks cuts up inside, is knocked down across the 45, picked up a dozen more.
Yeah, you read that line with a safety blitz there by McMurray, got it out quickly, easy run and catch for the first down.
Tight ball game. 15 minutes to play in this CFP elimination game here in Knoxville. 4th quarter coming up. Back after this message and a word for your local ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Welcome back. SEC on ABC set for the final quarter. Neyland Stadium bumping there in the break, trying to get this defense going as Oklahoma up 6, trying to add to that near midfield. Mateer rolls the pocket, delivers to Burks. He had space over there in the near sideline. Another first down.
Yeah, this offense right now is mixing up these looks, different formations. Mateer looks like he's, like I said, in a different rhythm. It's like a Tennessee Vol player.
It's Josephs again.
Yeah.
He's been up and down and a drop to the field after that play. Holly?
Well, guys, we talked to John Mateer this week, and he said, you know, the losing really hurts, but man, am I having a good time playing ball. I am having so much fun. And you've seen him get back to a joyful attitude. I've seen him on the sidelines over here laughing, trying to talk to his guys. Several times he's pulled the guys into a huddle to be the voice to get their energy going. He is out here having a lot of fun, and it's been some good leadership from him as he's trying to show that energy on the field as well.
He hasn't been a super productive day passing, but he's had a couple of really long scrambles. And as he's felt more comfortable running, they've called more design runs for him tonight.
Yeah, and Chris, I just think it's been a different story, not just for Mateer, but for this offense from the first half to the second half. He looks like the quarterback we saw those first 4 weeks, and I'm not even talking about the stats. I'm talking about the command of the offense, the confidence, and the rhythm that he's playing with right now.
There's a run. That same conversation Holly was talking about. He said, listen, I just have to stay calm. The quarterback has the privilege to be able to slow things down and sort of set the tempo of the game regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of the swirl of this atmosphere. He's responded like a mature guy in the second half.
And imagine all that hype. He was basically an unknown player until those first 4 weeks of the season. Then you have the injury.
Pressure comes, and Satania muscles forward. It's enough for another OU first down at the 33.
And a good effort there to be able to get that extra yard for that first down. But imagine you get all that hype, and then you get the injury, and then you're struggling as an offense to kind of find. I think he was guilty like anybody would be. It's human nature to force it, want to try to make plays. And I think this is the first time we've seen him since that injury just kind of letting the game come to him, running the football, and playing with reckless abandon. That's who he is.
Robinson swallowed up, trying to test the middle, and Nathan Robinson, one of the reserves in that defensive front, pressed into duty tonight, made the play.
Talking a lot about OU and Mateer, but we get into this fourth quarter. Tennessee has lost the home field advantage. This defense right now that's being tested, they're going to rotate a few more bodies, 3 new defensive linemen. Remember, they got a lot of injuries up front. They need to make a play.
2 tight end look. Robinson is the back. Mateer on a roll now. He's completed 8 passes in a row. This is another design run. Tries to get the edge, and he's going to be tackled nicely in space by Farouk. He prevented another big scramble.
Yeah, heck of a job there by Farouk. He's been really active tonight as a safety. Come on this year. They don't have a depth at safety the way they had hoped with some portal guys that left before the season got started. But here in the open field, that's a tough tackle. Does a nice job of submarining him, getting him to the ground to bring up another third down. More bodies rotating in.
Tennessee, the time to get guys in and then try to get lined up here. It's here again. Got to hurry if he's going to make adjustments. Play clock at 2. And again, they got to spend the timeout. He's taken time a few times tonight to really kind of make late adjustments, and have to spend another timeout here. Big moment coming up on 3rd and 7 when you come back. Taco Bell Live Más student section showing some stamina after ripping it up. A lot of them last night at Halloween. Another big night out in Neyland Stadium, trying to help their defense come up with a stop. Oklahoma in field goal range to make it a 2-possession game here. Needs 7 to move the sticks. Mateer does not want to take a loss, but that's what happens. He is sacked for the 3rd time tonight. Edwin Spillman. It's a good thing that Tate Sendell has good field goal range. Never want to take a sack on 3rd and 7 in fringe field goal range.
Well, that is a good call by Tim Banks. Almost sets a screen or a pick up front on a twist. And the effort there and the call, Edwin Spillman's able to finish that, but you're right. Now
hey, dude, that was going to be a 40. Now it's another 55-yarder. That could be a very costly sack unless Sandell can bail the Sooners out again. trying for a second 55-yarder tonight, which ties a Neyland Stadium record, and he does it again. Sandell showing some thigh and showing a lot of skill as a kicker tonight. What 4 for 4.
Bro, what a weapon. What a weapon 2-9 is.
And another mean mug.
Another mean mug.
You spotted his attitude from the start tonight.
Yeah, man, he is. I'll tell you what. He can wear whatever pants he wants, I
guess. just enough leg to get that one over.
When you're drilling these 50+ every time he's out there, and in a game, it's a 6-point game. Now you make it a 2-possession game. Yeah, I did another one. Yeah. What can I tell you?
Laugh at my shorts. I'm just going to keep bombing field goals. And that was huge. They moved it 38 yards. The sack doesn't cost them. But if he lost another yard, it might have been short. That was so close.
No doubt.
And now Tennessee. Basically, the goals and dreams to make it back to the CFP this season on the line. Down 9, 11:05 to go.
Think about what's at stake here, right? 11 minutes to go. You better score. You got to keep your poise, but they obviously are going to be playing with urgency, which is who they are normally anyway, but they got to get points on the board in a hurry.
And a fair catch. Well, it's been another eventful day in the SEC. So many close games. This one ended up coming down to an onside kick that Vanderbilt had a chance to recover. But Arch Manning, a big day throwing the ball for the Longhorns, who escape. They got a collision in Georgia coming up soon. Miami beaten in overtime by SMU. Just way too many penalties and mental mistakes by Cristobal's team on the road.
At Lashley, after signing the contract, Georgia in another battle, went back and forth, but typical Georgia and Kirby Smart finding a way in the second half to win it.
This is Peyton Lewis. They begin the drive with a run and a short gain.
Bulls have not been able to do much last 2 drives. 6 plays, 5 yards. Aguilar's got to get them going.
Talked about the wins today by Georgia and Texas. Here's the updated standings. Again, Oklahoma and Tennessee with 2 losses cannot afford another loss tonight. And it's Tennessee with urgency. Aguilar incomplete. Off the hand of making the catch, but out of bounds there was Lewis. And so very quickly, it's a 3rd and 8.
Look at R. Mason Thomas. You know, instead of he's not coming back. He's been out since the first half. He's keeping his uniform on. One of the leaders of the team. Taylor Wine has had to step in for him. Has played very well.
Sooners bring some pressure. Aguilar flushed out, heaves it downfield. Brazel tried to fight back, and they get a pass interference call on Guillory to bail him out. That was a prayer as he was under heavy pressure.
Yeah, once again, Kip Lewis brought the pressure. Good job of blitzing here, and Guillory just out of position. Never finds the football. The ball is thrown up. Good effort by Aguilar just to throw it. Gave it everything that he had, even though he's getting hit again. And there's the obvious interference. Guillory on a ball that's underthrown. See how he doesn't see the football, doesn't realize the receiver wants to work back, grabs a hold of him, and Tennessee gets a first down.
Aguilar took a shot from Lewis, as you said. Sooners pass rush has had a huge impact in this game tonight. Aguilar has protection against a 4-man rush. Ball bobbled and dropped by Kitzelman. And Kip Lewis delivered this shot again.
Well, he's been all over the field. A lot of times pressuring, a lot of times in coverage, just doing everything. He's had to step up, especially with McKenzie down. Kind of takes over the leadership and the communication of this defense. Say Brent Venables has been dialing it up as a head coach / defensive coordinator, confusing Aguilar in this offensive line with multiple looks.
Aguilar, short pitch, catch made, and that's Ethan Davis, the tight end, has had a Good night tonight. It's a first down in OU territory.
Put that ball high and away from the defender, Kip Lewis, who was closing ground and almost had a chance to get a hand on the football. But because of where he threw it, like I said, away from the defender, easy for Davis to catch and then had room for the first down.
Aguilar under pressure again. Caught. Peyton Lewis was kind of led into trouble. Kip Lewis is out there hunting heads.
He is incredibly motivated. We saw him even in pregame. He was like in a different zone trying to get his mind right for this game. And it continues throughout this entire football game. Here they come again.
Lewis again. Blown up the play. He got there first. Grayson Holton finished the job.
Well, they were looking over to the sideline, and I think because of the way they timed this up, Lewis is right here. Look at the defense, and then they break late, and because it came so late, you can see that pull pro that you're talking about, the left guard trying to come out to be able to help out, but Lewis came so quickly, the left guard had no time to be able to bounce all the way out there and slow down the speed of Lewis.
You need 14. This may be 4-down territory for Heupel. This time Aguilar has protection, flips it down to Lewis, who breaks a tackle initially, spins inside the 40. Heineke couldn't quite stop him, and now it sets up 4th and 1.
Here you go. Huge play, and you obviously got to go for it. What are you going to go with here? Heupel wants to make sure he's got the right call, going to make some adjustments, bringing some personnel in, which means OU can counter and take their time making their own substitutions. So a tempo offense, slowing things down just to make sure they got the right call here. It is pivotal 4th and 1.
They were going to go for it, I think, on 4th down, but the fact they picked up 13 yards means it's a whole different play call here on 4th and 1, and now they'll just spend a full timeout. Too important to play. Down 9 with 8:12 to go.
ABC Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Well, final 8-12, whether you're ringside or up in the Goodyear blimp view, it's been a compelling one. Aerial coverage, we appreciate Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven legendary. So off the timeout by Heupel, a 4th down and 1. Down by 9. Got to get something out of this drive. What does he trust here to call?
You know, you and I were talking at the break. Do you get under center and sneak it or run some kind of running game? All you know is Brent Venables is going to dial it up. You know, led by Kip Lewis. You would think that they're going to be shooting gaps and trying to apply pressure.
Heavy lineup. You got Nathan Robinson, number 94, is a defensive lineman in the game as a blocker. Couple of tight ends in there.
Yeah, 3 tight ends.
Bishop. Powerful runner is the back. 2 tight ends on the right side. And they're going to try to throw for it. And it's incomplete. Discombobulated. That's Jack Van Dorselaar, a freshman tight end, not used very much. Has 2 catches all season, and it didn't work.
Well, interesting. You go to an unusual look. You go to a guy that hadn't got his hands on the football. And, Chris, I want you to watch him right here. Watch how his path to go out on this route. Boom. That right there is why he was late in turning around. That contact, he turns his head late, and he's not ready for the football. If he escapes clean, it's an easy catch. But by making that collision, slowed him down just a beat to get his head turned to be able to make that catch.
Right off the face mask, you saw the reaction from Heupel. That's a call that's going to be second-guessed around here if the Volunteers fall short. A funky formation. You throw to a guy who's hardly done anything all season and hasn't been involved tonight, and it doesn't work. Needed a yard there. Now Oklahoma takes over, trying to grind away on the clock.
Just a game of inches. The guy, if he makes it going out for that, I mean, it's a crazy play. You could say, why are they throwing it to the freshman? He hadn't caught the ball all night. The actual play design and the way it opened up, it was there. he just wasn't able to get his body in position to be able to get turned around to make the catch.
Metier running, and his buddy tight end Kanak was a lead blocker for him, picked up 7.
Again, just a game of inches. Boom, makes contact. Marvin Jones Jr. had the time, tried to float it, put the ball right on him. Chris, you said it hit him off the face mask. He just, by the time he turned, he just wasn't ready. Josh Heupel's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Sooners with a first down in midfield, and they'll get backed up 5. Been a sloppy game for Oklahoma. It's a 10th penalty.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
One thing, he's not happy to see that, but one thing he is happy to see, the first 3 games back from injury, John Metier is a runner, 36 yards rushing combined. Tonight, the 77 yards, and especially in this second half, Chris, where he's just looked like a different guy, looked like the old John Metier from early in the year when it came to just, again, the execution, not thinking, just running this offense, and a lot of times using his legs.
Running again on 1st and 15. It's Robinson who gets back the 5, and then Moore picked up about 8 there. Dr. Pepper Water Tower bringing the quarterback comparison tonight. Again, we're not showing the key stat for Metier. That is the rushing yards. 326 for Aguilar, but 2 damaging interceptions.
Turnover margin, obviously big game anytime, but especially for OU, if they had any chance of coming in here and trying to pull off an upset, they had to be positive in that area.
And a Tennessee defensive front that, as Holly reported, is really depleted right now. He's going to have to make a play here. And Metier weaves forward, takes a hit, picks up a couple. 3rd and 4 coming up. The clock is the enemy, down by 9 for Tennessee.
This is really, this is it for Tennessee's defense. Can they bow up right here? They got to get off the field. They need to stop. See if Spillman, maybe 13. Maybe he shoots a gap, blitz him. He's had some success.
Metier gets the ball out, catch made, first down. Satania took a long time tonight to get involved. They finally begin targeting their best weapon, and he picks up 9.
Yeah, one-on-one against Jalen McMurray. Got to win. Sells it to the inside, moves him to the inside, and then breaks off for separation against man coverage. Perfectly timed up. When in doubt, John Metier's either running the football and design QB run or looking into that slot to find his favorite target. He did there on 3rd down.
Now for the Sooners, it's tick, tick, tick. They can really work on the clock here. Fresh set of downs. Metier looking to throw, and it's intercepted off the carom. Edwin Spillman. A takeaway for Tennessee when they had to have it as Metier threw a fastball into traffic.
Chris, Farouk ended up blitzing, and he had to work his arm angle around him. And I don't know if Farouk, the safety, maybe touched that with a finger or not, but just when it looked like the Vols might be down to their last gasp, the defense steps up and makes the play.
There's been some play calls on both sides now that'll be heavily second-guessed by the fans, whoever doesn't win this game. That was a little risky. And on the carom, Tennessee's got it back.
And Ty Redmond, the freshman, 4, who's been challenged, gets a hand on that football to give the Vols a chance to get that turnover, and they get the interception, and they got some life.
Takeaway by Tennessee's defense has kept hope alive of a comeback here. Now the Volunteers from the 45, a first down completion to Davis, who's slung down near the line of scrimmage by Almasigo.
Need real urgency right now from this offense. They got to pick up the pace here of Joey Aguilar. You're down 2 possessions, 4 minutes, but you got to move with 2 timeouts and a 2-minute timeout remaining.
On the move, trying to create, and And takes a shot, but two bounces off two guys, falls forward, first down Tennessee.
How about that effort? Obviously, to be able to know exactly where he needed to go, but he takes that big hit and then finishes on the play to be able to get this first down. New set of downs, takes the big hit, dives right there and gets to the sticks.
Cortland Guillory's done some good things tonight, but he knows you can use your arms to tackle, right? So you're allowed to. Bishop, look out. Deshaun Bishop on the swing pass. Another chunk play to the 32.
OU sinking a lot of coverage. Good job here just checking it down and letting your athletes make plays. That time Bishop with a big play after the catch. Remember, 3 minutes, but you got to have more urgency here. Hold on to those 2 timeouts.
Play fake. That time the pass rush is picked up and he flips it short. And Bishop weaving his way down to the 20. Clock will stop momentarily as they move the chains.
Yeah, all the yards are by checking it down, and with this soft zone coverage, you got to rely on your backs to be able to make a lot of yards after these catches, and that's what we've been able to see.
And check it 9 inside too, so the clock did move there. Still got to be urgent, taking some time.
They need to score before they get to the 2-minute timeout. You need 3 stoppages on the back end of the 2-minute timeout. I'd consider kicking a field goal right now. You need 2 possessions here to have a chance.
Aguilar thought about looking at the end zone, now just takes off and using up some time for a short gain, knocked out of the 14.
Maybe to kick a field goal here. Again, it's not just about trying to get the touchdown. If you think about this, if you kick a field goal or you get the points that you need, you have 3 stoppages on the back end. Oklahoma's going to probably run it 3 straight times. You get 3 stops, you have 2 timeouts, a 2-minute warning, and you can get the football back.
Well, it's the 2-minute timeout. I know coaches are just kind of loath to do that. You can see it sometimes in the NFL. You take the 3, kick it off, try to get the stop.
It hurts to do it, but it's 2 possessions.
2 minutes to go. Tennessee desperate to try to get the first of the 2 scores they need. Wheels turning in the final 2 minutes. Game management decisions. It's interesting. You brought something up that we'll circle back to. Tennessee has the 2 timeouts, but this is the 2-minute timeout that's come and gone, needing to score as quickly as possible. And looking to the end zone right there. Touchdown, Mike Matthews. It's a 1-score game with 1:56 remaining. That was a clutch strike from Aguilar.
Maybe the best throw of the night by Joey Aguilar. Able to get that ball thrown. He saw a matchup that he really loved. Eli Bowen matched up there, and we talked about these receivers really all night and how they can win. And Mike Matthews that time able to get to the inside of Bowen for that touchdown, but the ball was perfectly thrown.
Talked about, Kirk, do you kick an early down field goal to kick off, use the 2-minute timeout and your 2 regular timeouts, try to get the ball back with more time? They chose not to do it, but it was important, having taken this path, to score right away.
They scored in a hurry, and what you see the receiver come into your screen from the far left, sets that really nice stem at the top of that route, and look at that throw. He threw it where his guy could make a play, put it up high, able to go up, secure it for the touchdown. I was just saying, if you could get a field goal before the 2-minute timeout and then kick off, and then Oklahoma's going to probably run it 3 straight times, and then you would have the 2-minute timeout after a 1st and 10 run. 2nd down, you'd be able to call a timeout. 3rd down run, you'd be able to call a timeout. Then you get the ball back, and you got some time to work with. Now you're going to have to hope that you can get a stop here. Oklahoma, after that, the 2 first and 2nd down runs, they'll run it probably one more time on 3rd down, and the clock will continue to move.
Do you kick it away here if you're Heupel and let your defense play? Gilbert is out there. Oklahoma leaning forward, anticipating the potential for an onside kick. Yeah, not much of a run up. They're going to move more folks over to the left side. Little pre-snap adjustment here. Kick it back to the right. Did you get the big hop? It's battled for but recovered by Oklahoma. Coming up for it, Robert Spears Jennings, the safety, and OU is going to have the football with 1:55 to kill.
That took a tricky hop, and 3 right there secured that. That was a perfect onside kick. Took that unpredictable hop, and what a tremendous job, the hand-eye coordination of Robert Spears Jennings to bring that down.
Star Thomas was bearing down on him. That's why he's on the hands team.
If he doesn't make that decision to step forward and secure that ball, it's anybody's football.
So Tennessee can stop it twice. You can do the math with the play clock and figure out that even if they can force Oklahoma to punt, they wouldn't have much time and be a long way away.
You think quarterback run, you got to load up on Mateer.
Robinson breaks free. Forget about it. Touchdown at Oklahoma. Does he cross the goal line? He drops down at the 1, which is the smart thing. I thought for sure he was going to run in at the last minute. He appeared to change his mind and fall down. Not sure if the ball actually did break the
Let's
lane.
check the progressive pylon cam here and check it out. His body did. The ball never got in there.
Ooh.
Well, it came close.
If he was trying to fall down, he didn't want it to be that close. I mean, before the knee, this is one of those weird reviews where you don't want to see it cross the goal line if you're Oklahoma, but it's really close. Knees down. Is the nose of the ball
set to 1 minute 47
across
seconds
that
timeout.
front
Tennessee
edge of the
has called
goal
their
line?
second timeout of the half.
Bill
It's
Amanya
30
is
seconds
saying
in lane.
just this close, but he thinks he did stop short. So a smart play. He figured he wasn't going to have that much open space.
I mean, if you score a touchdown and you hit the extra point, you're up 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to see backs or receivers, you know, when the game's running out, do we really need to score? But they score a touchdown here. It really puts the game out of reach.
That's why I was so surprised. It looks like he's going to score for sure. Game over.
Yeah.
And it leads back to 9. He's looking around and
he's looking at sideline.
Almost blows it.
He was trying to get help. Like, hey, what should I do?
I mean, okay, knee down there. I mean, you're not supposed to cut it that close if that's what you're trying to do.
I think he was trying to be make the right decision, and I think if you score there, the game's over.
Game's almost over here though at the goal line. It'd
be different if this touchdown, it puts you up 7 or 8, but this would have put him up 9 in 2 possession.
I'm just going to point out that it does make a difference to some people who are looking in if you score the touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a crucial moment for some.
For some?
No, not me. I'm just saying some in Las Vegas.
I bet.
They've totaled 50 points right now. And another 6 points would have changed things. If you're in Vegas, shout out watching this ball game. The bigger picture is Oklahoma, unless they somehow don't execute this, and he's just going to run it in. So
there's the point. You go up 9.
Force him to use one timeout there, but that's going to do it.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma, Mateer says, quiet down. Dark mode crowd here at Neyland Stadium. It's been a while. We showed you the graphic. They haven't beaten a ranked team on the road in a while. Brent Venables has not done it as the OU head coach. And this one with the season on the line, got off to a very rough start for the offense. Ends up being a really productive second half for Oklahoma.
Yeah, you got to give Oklahoma a lot of credit. You see, they lost 5 straight on the road versus ranked, as Chris just said. But this game got sideways in the first half. And Oklahoma's defense made some big plays on their side of the field. I think the biggest play was by Henneke to be able to knock the ball loose, and R. Mason Thomas, who was a 14-point swing, and kind of set the tone for OU and what they needed to do, because their offense was off to a very slow start in this first half and looked more like the OU offense that we've come to expect with Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer in the second half, and Mateer running the football a bunch.
Here's the easy run here. They're going to get 30-plus points against a Power 4 team for the first time in 15 games. Hadn't done that. Help from the defense with the return. 33-24, like to Kevin Nagandi.
Chris, Kirk was there for game day this morning, reminding our audience Cincinnati, Utah is in the second quarter over on ESPN. Wayshawn Parker to the house. Utah currently up 14-7. NC State handed number 8 Georgia Tech their first loss of the season, 48-36. Back to you guys.
So this massive crowd on a festive night, the only night game all season in Knoxville, is going to go home disappointed. And Tennessee, which made the CFP a year ago with the third loss, all of them conference losses, pretty much out of it.
Listen, I'm the biggest college football junkie there is, but I just got to tell you, the Dodgers looked like they were done in the 8th inning. Muncy homers in the 8th to make it 4-3 Blue Jays. In the 9th, Rojas ties it up 4-4. They may be headed to extra innings, just in case you want to multitask and watch some college football in Game 7 of the World Series. It's the way to do it.
But both teams refuse to lose, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the way it should be.
Capital One cardholders can redeem their credit card rewards for tickets to exclusive events and experiences on Capital One Entertainment. Scan the code to learn more. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
So after the kickoff, there's a dead ball face mask penalty on Oklahoma, which will improve Tennessee's field position. Okoye guilty. It's going to take absolute miracle to avoid a nightmare in Neyland for the home team.
Oklahoma now 11 penalties for over 100 yards.
Moves the ball to the 40. So now you got to think huge quick strike, onside kick again. The back we were before with a 9-point margin. Aguilar, really, they'll give him that scramble.
Oh, yeah.
He runs up there and slides for a 5-yard gain.
Just rushing forward, dropping 7, 3 deep, 4 under, taking anything away downfield. Make him check it down, keep it in bounds if you can.
Heupel did not want to spend his final time out there. Aguilar flips it short. That's another short gain. Can he make the sidelines? No. Chip cuts it back in. Now the clock will stop momentarily to move the chains inside the final 2 minutes. Or they continue to work underneath.
Yeah, same time. It's just like the last time they had the ball. They kept going underneath just because everything is taken away.
They're getting enough to move, get a quick stoppage of the clock for the first down again. 1:07 and counting. Now he's got to look farther downfield. Ooh, and a chance there. Staley was running between defenders, had a hand on the ball.
I think he had 2 hands on the ball. I don't know if the defender may have blocked his view from being able to make this catch, but that ball hits him right on the hands. Kendall Daniels almost gets a hand on it. Maybe that affected it, but very easily could have caught that and walked into the end zone.
You're right. The guy's caught a couple touchdowns tonight with a drop, and Tennessee among the national leaders in drops this season. That was a big one. Needed that. Play clock at 1. Pressure comes. Aguilar batted up in the air, and it falls incomplete. Heineke got a hand on the ball.
So they've been playing zone, zone, zone with this lead, and then this time Brent Venables goes back to what he was doing when the game was in question, which is a lot of pressure, a lot of outside pressure from the linebackers.
Brent Venables called this a punch-back game after a tough home loss to Ole Miss, and his team has certainly landed plenty of shots tonight. There's a downfield play, incomplete. Crowd, what's left of it, wanted a flag. There isn't one.
I think it's been smart last 2 plays, and instead of just letting him sit back there and have all kinds of time to throw the football, they brought pressure.
You're gonna be happy, Kirk. They're gonna kick a field goal here.
Yep.
On 4th and 10. Cut it back to a 6-point game. This is a long distance one. 48 for Gilbert, who hit from 45 earlier, missed a shorter one from 37. and drives it right through. So it's back to a 6-point game. Gilbert, who came close to executing the onside kick last time, will try it again.
He did a really good job. It was just the hands team from Oklahoma ended up making a great play with Spears Jennings.
Rankings is the AP poll brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Of course, very soon the CFP rankings will come out. Georgia Tech, first loss of the year for the Yellow Jackets at NC State. And Vanderbilt will drop out of the top 10, but battle hard, getting right down to an onside kick in Austin. Miami losing in overtime after having the lead. I believe they trailed in that game until the last game-winning run.
Two tough losses for the ACC, as you mentioned earlier, Georgia Tech and Miami. So one more onside kick.
They try the same thing, or do they tweak it? Keep it away from Spears Jennings. He's over on the left side of the formation, near side of the field, number 3.
He couldn't have kicked it any better the last time. Maybe go that way again. He's calling it for it right now. Going the other way.
And after checking that out, Venables spends a timeout to make adjustments to the hands team, leaving no stone unturned. Again, to circle back to Venables, coaches say stuff like that, the punch back moment, but he actually did relish the fact that off a tough home loss, he and Lane Kiffin were sparring. It was a well-fought game. To come back on the road and have to prove it here to basically keep your playoff hopes alive, and his team has responded.
They really have, and I think that's what you really, as a head coach, you get into these conference games, and it's not only your entire season, but within the game of 60 minutes, you need to punch back from adversity. And if they end up securing this victory, they'll have a bye, and then they'll go to Tuscaloosa. I mean, it doesn't get any easier for this Oklahoma team. Look what they finished with: at Alabama, Missouri, who's a top 20 team and a really physical, good team, and then LSU to finish it off.
Alabama, by the way, we'll remember what happened last year when Oklahoma ruined their playoff chance. They lost 24-3, embarrassment in Norman, and that basically cost Alabama a playoff bid. So plenty of motivation for the Crimson Tide for the rematch in a couple of weeks. And they get the hop. Actually didn't go 10 yards, and Oklahoma recovers it, and they'll be able to run out the clock. So 2 good jobs by the hands team. Evan Carrion made the recovery that time. Didn't go 10 yards, but he stepped up, and again, it's somewhat risky to come forward, and better be sure if you're going to do that.
Now, both sides, they tested both sides, and both sides of the hands team able to secure it for Oklahoma. So Sooners survive. It's 1 week at a time when you play a schedule like this. Big win for Brent Venables, big win for the Sooners. Get a bye week. Bye week comes at the right time with some of these injuries they sustained tonight. Get those guys a couple weeks to be able to recover before they head over to Tuscaloosa.
Our Mason Thomas, you saw a shot at him a moment ago. He's been a leader since getting injured on a 71-yard fumble return. Perhaps the bye week he can be ready to go in Tuscaloosa. That'll be a big focus of the health report. Victory formation for Mateer and the Sooners.
Not only do you get a win, but your offense got back to their identity. They got back to being who they are, which means when I think of who they are, John Mateer running the football, making the defense be aware of what he can do, and it seems to set up every other aspect of who they want to be and how they want to attack in their passing game. But Mateer wasn't hesitant, much more decisive in the second half than he was in the first half, and I think the offense really grew up tonight, coming off that injury to the thumb about 4 weeks ago.
The 3 turnovers by Aguilar, the fumble, and the 2 interceptions, huge. Sooners converted those to 13 points. Survived 2 turnovers themselves and 11 penalties. Not perfect, but gritty. And the Sooners stay alive, get to 7-2, 3-2 in the SEC, and a damaging, probably fatal loss for Tennessee's playoff hopes. So many connections here. Heupel and Venables go back, of course, to shared Oklahoma roots. It's a painful loss for Heupel, who beat his alma mater on the road a year ago. And now it's Oklahoma who has spoiled Tennessee's chances of getting back in the bracket. Let's go to Holly.
Well, Coach Venables, this was your first time to play here at Neyland Stadium, and you walk out with a win, the first ranked win on the road in your tenure. What does that mean to you in this program?
Well, man, this is all about the players, part of the staff, the players just staying together, believing. That's what it all starts, man, having foundationally, just believing. That's where it all starts. So, man, talk about having that November to remember, starting this thing off the right way here in the fourth quarter of our season and going into the bye week and, man, playing together, complimenting each other, overcoming a lot. And couldn't be more proud of our guys. We made it very interesting. We put about every situational that you could have in the game happen tonight. But, and this is really all about the players.
Your defense had to come up with some big stops. This is the most explosive offense in the SEC, and they came up with those stops time and time again. The takeaways, what stood out about that performance?
Yeah, again, our guys knew coming on the road, man, what winning requires. You want to go on the road and win in this league.
Still there?
In the turnover battle. We have not been able to get, for all the good things we've done, we've not been able to get the football. We knew that'd be a difference maker, in the game tonight. We felt good about being able to create pressure up front. And again, the coaches did a great job having the guys ready in the secondary to make some plays on the ball.
You got to give your kicker some love. A new school record, 3 kicks over 50 yards. What do you think about him?
Man, he's just an absolute stud, man. He has ice in his veins. He thinks he's 6'4", 250. Every day at practice, he wants to kick a 60-yarder for the guys. And but Tate's big time, man. He's got great confidence. He's very talented, but man, he's got really cool under pressure.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Boomer.
Little guy standing tall. He's actually about 5'9", 180, the kicker. And here's John Mateer. Boy, it wasn't always perfect, but he showed his scrambling ability. Got back to vintage John Mateer.
Yeah, some design, somewhere he had to create, ended up 80 yards on 16 carries. And like I said, I think as they move on, they get ready for Alabama and the rest of these teams. Now that he's healthy, it's his legs and his moxie and kind of the intangibles that he brings to the table. That's what's going to lead this Oklahoma offense the rest of the year. But different guy and a different offense from the first half to the second half.
Sooners, an important win. Plenty of work still to do, but let's hear from the quarterback with Holly.
Well, you just looked at those rushing yards and you said, hey, I'm running the ball again. What made you decide in those moments? Because it was important for your team.
Yeah, I think whatever it takes to win is our motto in the quarterback room, and that's the truth. We needed this game, and we all knew it, and whatever it took is what I was going to do.
It's hard to get a win on the road in the SEC, John. How important is this for you guys as you try to get some momentum?
I mean, first of all, this environment is everything I've dreamed of since I was a little kid. This is unreal, but confidence is awesome, and going into the bye week after a win is real good. It can boost us into winning some more games.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, Boomer.
Sooner, as they say. But there's two sides to this, and for Tennessee, it's a gut punch. They've lost out of Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. 3 really quality teams. The teams they've beaten in the SEC are at the bottom of the standings. So this team really hasn't been able to rise up and step up in a big moment, and that's going to be perhaps the story of this season, unfortunately, for Tennessee.
Yeah, big opportunity for both teams. This is what makes it great, right? With the 12-team playoff, you get a couple losses, you're still in it, you still have hope, and then you get into a game like this where you both meet head-to-head, and it's going to come down to just a few plays. I mean, think about that freshman tight end. He gets bumped, prevents him from getting his head turned around. If he gets out clean, he makes a catch, it's the first down. Who knows what happens, but instead, give Oklahoma all the credit. John Mateer and this offense made the plays they needed to make, and they get out of here with a win.
So many moments tonight that could have been decisive. Just the first Saturday of 5 of them in November as we head down the stretch run in college football. And for our focus, the SEC, which has been, again, wild race already, and will get wilder. We'll see you from Lubbock, Texas. BYU against Texas Tech next Saturday. That's where game day will be as well. Bill Pinnell produced the game. Jimmy Plant directed it. We appreciate all of our crew. For Bill and Holly and Kurt, Chris is saying so long. Except for the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news of most of these ABC stations.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.